is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Florida.
He's 2 outs away. 2-2 pitch. He's 1 out away. 0-2 pitch. Reunions on the first and no-hitter for Edinson Volquez. Oh, the long homestand ends today. What a night last night. The Diamondbacks and the Marlins finish off a 4-game series. Miami has taken 2 live on the field right now. The pitcher's rubber was dug up after Edinson Volquez no-hitter, and he has been presented with that. Volquez, an emotional night as well, and a big win, obviously, for Miami. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Todd Hollingsworth. What a night last night. One of the most unlikely no-hitters you'll see. You didn't even know if he was going to face the second hitter of the night after turning his ankle in that first out at first base. But he finished it, and a big shot in the arm for the ball club.
We started the ball game off, talking about how Edinson Volquez had improved, how it's turned into quality starts in 3 of the last 4, and the walks had been down, and the ground balls had been up. And as the game goes on, you get to the second play of the game, and there you are. You're wondering, is he going to be able to even make it through the first inning? And lo and behold, he continues to dial it in, continues to get the ground ball outs, 13 of them, strikes out the side at the end. And honestly, the third time through was even better than he was the first and second time through. Just an impressive outing right there. That's a testament to Edinson Volquez staying with it. Remember, only his start before the no-no did he pick up his first Marlins win.
Moving forward now for the ball club in the big picture for the Fish, a chance to win this series against the Diamondbacks and a chance to have a really nice homestand after being at the very depths of despair 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm wrestling with the level of importance of this ball game, but it certainly, in my mind, feels important. Why? You want to beat the Diamondbacks, you want to win series, and this is a 4-game series, so you got to win today. Marlins offense has been rolling. You see it right there since Giancarlo Stanton moved to the 2 spot in the lineup. I mean, it is an offense that has been so good lately, but there are a few changes in the lineup today.
There are. Justin Bour has a little bit of an ankle issue. He's getting the day off, probably available to pinch hit. So here we go. It's Marlins, it's Diamondbacks. More on the no-hitter. All kinds of interesting stuff as the Fish and Arizona finish it off on a Sunday. Miami Marlins Park, ready to go. Out to center field, Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine.
Rich, the beauty of baseball, what could be in store today out on that field? You just never know when you come out here. The Marlins came home with their heads down a little bit off a bad road trip and a bad homestand before that. They're 7-2, and they come off an absolute thriller, one of the great nights in team history in the regular season yesterday.
Yeah, which almost didn't happen. Edinson Volquez injured himself slightly on that first play of the game yesterday. Didn't know if he's going to be able to continue. Good thing he did. D. Gordon predicted. He said, hey, now he's going to throw a no-hitter. He told JT Realmuto that.
Yes, he did. And let's just listen to his comments to Edinson and some of the players after the game on a great moment, 6-0 in Marlins history.
It really hurt me. Like, you know, it's hard. And threw 2 pitches, like you say, and I told myself, just go, pitch. You know, you stay in the game, and you don't want to get out. You don't want to leave the game. And the first inning, I put 1 batter. And it was a good idea for me to, you know, to tell them I want to keep pitching.
It was right after the first play of the game when he rolled his ankle. Got to give D some credit. D. Gordon came up to me and he was like, hey, he's going to pitch a hell of a game after that. Because it was just funny how he got hurt first play and then stuck it out. And D knew right off the bat he was going to. And so after the game, he came over and I told you, I knew he was going to throw that.
When you're little, you know, you play baseball. As a baseball player, you want to, first of all, you want to be in the big leagues, you know, be a big league players and throw no hitter, go to the All-Star game. You know, it's like a dream come true.
Yeah, there are a couple different things that happen there. If he goes out of that game in the first inning after 1 out, what's the bullpen going to do? Now they have to cover 8 2/3 innings with a day game today against a tough team like the Diamondbacks. Hopefully they get today's win and finish up at a homestand 8-2. That'd be fantastic.
McGowan had pitched the inning at 2/3. Nick Whitgren talking to him today said, boy, we were scrambling. We all started stretching. We know what was going to happen. It looked like he was coming out of the game when he turned that ankle.
Yeah, it really did, and thank goodness he didn't.
No, he didn't, and wow, and then he authors this kind of game, a no-hitter, and the Marlins win it to have a shot now at winning this series. We'll see. Arizona and Miami could be an 8-2 homestand before a trip to Chicago and Pittsburgh. From Miami next on Fox Sports Florida.
On Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Southwest Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. By Jeep, get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance Event. And by your local Toyota dealers. It is a muggy day here in Miami. Roof is closed, AC's on, and so is a ball game. Vance Worley getting ready to face Arizona. The Diamondbacks are 5-5 on this long road trip, which ends for them today. Southwest Airlines brings you Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks. Daniel Descalso in the leadoff spot. Chris Herman in left. Couple lefty bats to start. Paul Goldschmidt, good series. Jake Lamb's at third. Chris Owings in right. Chris Iannetta behind the plate. Nick Ahmed back at short. Ray Fuentes all the way down to the 8th spot. Brandon Shipley hits 9th. And the first pitch from Vance Worley is a letter-high fastball for a strike. And it's 0-1.
All right, Vance Worley making the start today, his third in the Marlins uniform. Fastball, cutter, curveball change. You see the ERA pretty solid at 4.50. I would imagine he may get a little more leash today. Certainly all the activities yesterday, it's Volquez outstanding. Worley threw the ball, I think, particularly well his last time out. Only 62 pitches through 5 innings. Really hoping he can build off of that.
Off-speed pitch. Descalso bangs it in the gap, left center field. That's going to be extra bases. And on his way to second, Daniel Descalso opens with a double. Miami defensively in this ball game.
Let's check out this Marlins defense that was so good last night. Marcell Ozuna gets the start left. Yelich and Stanton is your outfield. Dietrich, Riddle, Gordon, and Moore. He's getting the start at first base. A.J. Ellis behind home plate, along with Vance Worley on the mound for the Marlins.
And the Diamondbacks do something they haven't done for 41 batters, and that is get a hit. There's a pitch to Chris Herman for a strike. Daniel Descalso snaps a 13-inning drought without a hit. 41 batters, 2 walked, and an 0 for 39. Obviously, that man was responsible for 27 of those outs. But remember, Miami's bullpen was outstanding the other night. 2 nights ago, finished with a flurry. And so the hitless skid is over. Herman, Goldschmidt, and Lamb for the Diamondbacks from here on out on a play ball weekend. Herman didn't like the call. You see the play ball patch on all the uniforms. Kerwin Danley's calling balls and strikes. Todd Titchener, Adam Hamari, and Bill Miller. And that cut fastball that runs in on the lefties. Danley has called 2 strikes, one on Descalso and one on Herman, and neither were happy.
Well,
so we'll keep an eye on it.
It's a big pitch today. He's got to establish command of both sides of that plate. You watch Worley kind of crossfires just a little bit. Watch him pick that front leg up. Kind of looks like he's giving you a good strong shoulder turn, front shoulder turn, and then kind of crossfires back towards that zone. He's got to have that cut fastball to keep left-handed hitters honest.
Time called. Herman steps out. Goldschmidt on deck. Marlins trying to win this series. Diamondbacks trying to get out of here with a 2-2 split. And if the Diamondbacks win, they'll have a 6-5 road trip. Herman to left. That's hit well. Ozuna going back. Squares it up. Makes the catch. Descalso tags on his way to third. And he's in there. So 2 balls well hit against Worley from the lefty bats.
That ball well struck by Herman right there. Nice job. Nice base running by Descalso. That was a good read at second base. Able to get himself into scoring position on that. Ozuna did a nice job racing back to make that catch, but Descalso anticipated well.
Goldschmidt, that's because he's a UC Davis infielder.
You knew I was setting you up. I wasn't setting him up.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Well, Miami's infield is back except for Moore at first. So a ground ball by Goldschmidt would score the run. Worley comes in right on his hands and gets an early strike, and it's 0-1. Goldschmidt in the middle of things yesterday was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. And of course, Volquez struck out the last 3 he faced. That liner's going to find grass, and a base hit for Paul Goldschmidt. Daniel Descalso scores, and Arizona's off to a 1-0 start.
That's a great example of doubling up to elite hitters in the game of baseball. Remember the pitch that he had just seen in on his hands? This one's certainly a little bit more out towards the plate, but again, still putting it on his mind. And you don't double up on the elites. You hear it a lot. You know, guys talk about it. Why did you throw the different pitch the second time? Well, I don't want to give him 2 looks at one pitch. And I think in this instance right here, Paul Goldschmidt made that instantaneous adjustment to Vance Worley.
Don't sleep on Goldschmidt. He'll steal second. He's got a dozen. And Lamb cuts at a fastball and fouls it back to the screen.
Well, you mentioned this little run that obviously the Diamondbacks had gone on where the offense went away. Couldn't find a hit. One thing that seemed to kind of start developing in yesterday's ball game was an aggressiveness. Clearly they sensed the no-hitter all the way to that 9th inning where there were strikeouts. They really had expanded their strike zone, and see if Vance Worley picks up on that today. This Diamondback team looks to be very aggressive early already.
And one of the impressive things among many for Edinson Volquez is that he no-hit this ball club.
Right.
This is a very good offensive team. Top 3 in a lot of the big power and offense categories. Torey Lovello's ball club, a well-oiled machine coming into last night offensively, and Volquez just an incredible night on a night, and he even said it in the post-game show talking to Craig. There was one point where he thought he was coming out of the game in the 4th or the 5th inning when his ankle just didn't feel well. Remember, he got a hit. He was on base twice, and he said that kind of helped him decide to just keep pitching.
One thing I really took from last night's ball game, Edinson Volquez, the veteran, expanded the strike zone so well as the game went on.
Lamb strikes out. 1-0-2 pitch.
I think he'd put that cutter in the back of his memory right there, and what he'd seen from the 2 lefties prior to, and was done in by the 2-seam fastball right here. This is right down the middle of the plate right here on a 2-strike pitch. Kind of surprising.
Chris Owings now. Owings, who's having a good year offensively, was a pinch hitter with 2 outs in the 9th last night. And as you pointed out, the Diamondbacks expanded their zone. And I think a lot of it had to do with the changeup that Volquez was throwing, especially against the right-handed hitters. That was such a weapon for him last night. Right-handed hitters aren't all that accustomed to seeing changeups from right-handed pitchers.
Well, he was adding and subtracting to the changeup, really throwing it when he wanted to, and getting a lot of swing and misses. That's the one thing that last time through the lineup that you really saw. The Diamondbacks didn't become more patient. They became more aggressive, almost like, okay, well, we're going to fight our way through this. We'll just jump on the first pitch we see. And what did Edinson Volquez do? He went to his curveball occasionally, threw the changeup an awful lot, gets the no-hitter.
It's a big night as well for JT Realmuto, catching the no-hitter, working with Volquez. Remember that pitch that Owings swung and missed on. Realmuto had to block it. It was in the dirt and it rolled up the line. JT had to capture it and throw it to first to get that last out. It went back to the screen. And a well-deserved day off for Realmuto, though you would expect come 6th, 7th, 8th inning he might be in there as a pinch hitter. Look at all the different catchers. Coy Hill caught the Alvarez no-hitter. Miguel Olivo had Anibal Sanchez, and Charles Johnson was along for 3.
Well, no surprise there with CJ.
Strike 3, outside corner. This was the last out. Realmuto had to seal it, finish it, and Volquez had his no-no. Diamondbacks have a run here. It's 1-0. for D. Gordon as he gets ready to lead it off for Miami and face Braden Shipley, first-round pick back in 2013, just up from AAA Reno, where he had a 3.93 ERA. But pay no attention to that. Reno's at elevation. Ball flies there. Made 9 starts for the AAA team.
Very good numbers. He's earned his way back up here. That's the key. He's earned this start. Hasn't really established himself at the major league level yet, but has done everything at AAA that you could ask.
Just 25. Medford, Oregon is home, and the University of Nevada. So not only did he go to school at the University of Nevada, which is in Reno, but he got to pitch in Reno in AAA. So he knows the territory for sure.
Does.
13th career start. Gordon opens with a little roller up the line. It takes a right turn and goes foul. Goldschmidt couldn't get it in time. And it gives us time to look at Miami's lineup. It's brought to you by Southwest. D. Gordon, the leadoff spot. Stanton still second. Yelich in the 3-hole. Marcell Ozuna hitting cleanup. Look at Ozuna in that 9-game homestand. Derek Dietrich, Tyler Moore started first. Justin Bour, a little bit of an ankle. He tweaked it going around first on his double last night. He gets the day off. A.J. Ellis, J.T. Riddle, and Vance Worley. 1-2 to Gordon.
I'll give you the arsenal for Braden Shipley today. Fastball, curveball, change. He'll throw 2 different types of fastballs, 2-seamer, 4-seamer, 92, 94 miles an hour, about half the time. Good curveball, developing changeup.
Little pop, and it's out of play. Oh, nice play there. Youngster brought his glove. It's play catch day with Dad. A little high five from Dad. That's why a lot of kids have their gloves after the game. They'll be out on the field.
Good read. A little rhythm to it. Everything.
Nice.
Well done.
Gordon fouls it out of play. A lot of focus has been placed on Giancarlo in the 2 spot. The run of Justin Bour and Marcell Ozuna. But as the Marlins have had a nice resurgence here, D. Gordon has been hitting and getting on base a lot.
Well, it's all worked hand in hand as this offense is running and rolling right now, averaging about 7 runs a ball game on this homestand. Yeah, I mean, there's different check marks. Giancarlo Stanton, you can say the 2-hole, 8-3 since being there. You can talk about D. Gordon getting hot in the top of the lineup.
Scalzo charges and shovels with the glove to get D. Gordon. Good second baseman is Descalso.
UC Davis.
Stop it.
All right, let's take a look at that Diamondbacks defense this afternoon's ball game. Herman Fuentes and Owings, Lamb, Ahmed. Descalso's getting the start at second base. Goldschmidt, their all-star over at first base. Chris Iannetta behind the dish. Shipley on the mound.
Breaking ball. Stanton takes it outside. Giancarlo in yesterday's ball game. Really nice day. He was 1 for 2, walked 2 times. 4 for 9 in this series with a homer and a double. And he's hit in 6 straight. Takes a mean rip at a fastball and just missed that one. It's 2-1. Last 10 days, the Marlins as a team just over 300. League average 242.
Yeah, well, I'll finish that thought that we got into before D grounded out. This is what the Marlins envisioned for themselves. Now, granted, this isn't going to go on all year. You're not going to have 7 hot hitters in your lineup every day. We'd all, every team in baseball loves that, would love to have that, but it doesn't usually go that way. But right now, this Marlins team is in a great spot where everybody feels pretty good about their swing. Top to bottom, and you're seeing it. Yeah, there's a few guys that maybe at the bottom of the lineup you'd love to see get going, but the key guys are really rolling right now.
Fastball, busted bat, on to short. Ahmed across the diamond to get Stanton. So Shipley's got a couple of ground ball outs and brings Yelich to the plate. That was one of the nuances of last night with the no-hitter, and obviously the focus was on Volquez and what he was doing as he limped around the diamond. up and down the mound after turning his ankle early in the ball game. But the Marlins were able to add on late, and I think that took a lot of pressure not only off of Volquez but off of Don Mattingly in that 9th inning. Not that Volquez didn't need it. I mean, he struck out the side, but 1-0 in a ball game you have to win with a guy throwing a no-hitter. That's a tenuous spot for a manager.
Right.
And the add-on runs were big. Yelich had a role in that in the 8th, as his single was part of a 3-hit, 2-run 8th inning.
One of the keys to the ballgame, I talked about it at the beginning, is for Edinson Volquez, don't make trouble for yourself. And really what I'm talking about are those walks. Sometimes the walks have been an issue, and you could see in the 9th inning, if it was a 1-run ball game, Don Mattingly being in a position where he walked the first guy or walked maybe the first 2 guys. We've seen him do that before this season, where he may have had to go to AJ down in the bullpen, but didn't have to go that way.
Yelich rolls a ground ball. Descalso to his left, gobbles it up, flips to first in time. A 1-0 start for the Diamondbacks, headed to the 2nd in Miami. And a run. Who's the manager in baseball that every time the first hit of the game happens turns to his bench and says, "There goes the no-hitter"?
I don't know. Is there a specific?
There is. I want to say it's a Dusty Baker or somebody, but we'll put our researcher on that.
I don't think it's Dusty. Well, maybe it is Dusty. I mean, if he did, I'd never heard it.
There's somebody in the game that used to say that. Maybe it was Felipe Alou. Obviously, he's not managing now. There's a strike. Chris Iannetta with Nick Ahmed and Ray Fuentes. If so, wherever he may be, he may have said it when Worley gave up that hit to Descalso to open the game, to double the left center. Worley out of Sacramento, California, Long Beach State. Long Beach State's a powerhouse, a national championship of late. The Dirtbags trying to punch their ticket to Omaha. It was Felipe Alou, one of our crack staffers, sending a missive in.
That's right.
Full count, 3-2. Iannetta, Ahmed, Fuentes. Worley misses down low, leadoff walk. Iannetta is aboard. 2017 Esurance Major League Baseball All-Star Game ballot is online right now. It's your chance to choose your favorite Marlin. Give them some love, some support. Try to get them to the All-Star Game. They don't have to travel very far. It's right here in Miami on July 11th. And of course, that game is on Fox. The Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot online. The All-Star Game presented by MasterCard. See, look.
I took your word for it.
Vance Worley last year had a pretty solid year, an ERA of 3.5 in Baltimore, and most of that was spent in the bullpen. Made 4 starts.
Vance Worley said quite a run against the National League West. In fact, it's his favorite division to pitch against. 17 career starts, 22 appearances, 2.96 ERA against the National League West, and a 9-4 record to go along with it. 2 complete games.
Nick Ahmed. Ahmed a key role with the glove and with the bat on Thursday night. Arizona opens the series with a comeback win in the 8th and beat Miami 3-2. Ahmed had 3 hits, including the 2-run single in the 8th. It flipped the game from 2-1 to 3-2.
Yeah, did a nice job staying inside the baseball, going down the right field line for both of those hits.
Tony Perez Chica is the third base coach, and Ahmed is looking down at him right now. There he is. Longtime baseball guy as a player and a coach. That's a shot. Dietrich has it. Cross the diamond. Close, but not in time. Iannetta is back. That ball was hit hard.
Sure was. Dietz to the glove side right there, comes up with it. Nice job getting right up to his feet and getting a throw across the diamond, even have a shot at this. I still don't know. Hold down. Looks like Iannetta might just have gotten his foot back in.
Marlins looked at it. Don Mattingly did have his hand out to hold it up. You do get those 30 seconds to take a look. Here's Ray Fuentes. Popped it up, third base side. Dietrich to the rail. It's top of the dugout. Count 0-1. Fuentes did not start in game 1. Remember, A.J. Pollock is out with a groin injury. Diamondbacks hopeful to have him within a week to 10 days. And the game 1 starter, Gregor Blanco, jammed his thumb in a bizarre, odd sequence in right center where he was pivoting after a ball. Dropped his hand a bit to brace himself, steady himself, and in the process jammed his thumb, and we haven't seen him since.
Haven't seen him since.
0-2. Sanchez turns on that one, lines it down the right field line. That's up against the wall. Stanton races to get it. Iannetta coming to third. He'll be held there. And the Diamondbacks swinging it. Have a double, the first of the year, from light hitting Ray Fuentes.
Now Fuentes gets that little cutter. Didn't cut too much. You kind of see the fingers on the outside of it, trying to get around it right there, but kind of just hangs on the inside part of the plate. Really doesn't get it all the way in right there. Fuentes able to keep it straight down the right field line. You see it right there. I was thinking back to the first inning when you saw 2 really good cutters that were working their way into the hands of the left-handed hitter. That one did not. Fuentes able to shoot his hands across and keep it fair. Brings up Shipley.
Braden Shipley is an athlete. He was a shortstop and a pitcher at Nevada. So he can bunt, he can swing it a little bit. And he's in a position right now to help himself.
Well, it took him a while to give up the bat, too. He was reluctant to do that until his 3rd year of college. He's like, okay, I'll try the pitching thing.
Worked out. First round pick. Highest draft pick ever in the University of Nevada. Hits it hard. Dietrich, another terrific stop. Bobbled it. Fires it. Got him at first. My goodness. He did everything but wave to a fan in the stands. Watch this.
Well, great job. Needs the shorthand, gets his body in front of it. That's what they say about third basemen. A lot of times they're more goalie than glove guys. Nice job knocking it down over there. Keeps it in front. Gets a strong throw across the diamond. Said hi to Chris Ionetta on his way by and picked up the out at first.
Well, here's Descalso again. He sent a liner into the gap in left center for a double that started things in the first. It's the left-handed bats that have troubled Worley this year. Not necessarily here, but in New Orleans, where he was 2-5 with an ERA at 4.43. Lefty bats a 3.82 average. Descalso fouls it back. Last year, a nice bounce back year for Descalso. He hit 264, slugged 424. Coming off of Colorado's bench. And he swings and misses, and Worley gets the strikeouts. And Strand's 2 in scoring position, keeping it at 1-0.
Comes home, struck him out. The Marlins have their first no-hitter in history. Got him looking. It's a no-no. It's away from a no-hitter. That's the no-hitter. A.J. Burnett has thrown the no-hitter. 2.
Ground ball. This might do it. Hanley to first. He did it. He did it. He got him. Struck him out. Dodge check swing again. It's a no-hitter. Henderson Alvarez. 0-2 pitch. He hit it. Real Muto to first. A no-hitter for Edinson Volquez. 6 of them. 6 no-hitters for the Miami Marlins, and for JT Real Muto, the chance to be on the receiving end of that one and be part of history. So number 6.
That Henderson Alvarez reaction still gets me to this day. It's amazing to me. So, like, that will never happen again the way that it happened.
Well, here's the amazing thing. Alvarez admitted, and you saw his reaction when he finished the top of the ninth. He admitted he thought he had the no-hitter and the game was over.
Right.
He had stopped paying attention to the score except for the Tigers, who didn't have a run, and he was so focused on finishing and getting the no-hitter. He got that last hitter, he pumped his fist, and he looked around, and no one was coming out to congratulate him. And he said he looked up at the scoreboard and realized, oh,
we got a score.
It's a scoreless game. And as the rules state, you don't get a no-hitter by just going 9 innings.
Right.
You got to finish, and your team has to win the game. And Greg Dobbs was at the plate. I believe it was Stanton that scored on the wild pitch.
Well, that's what I mean. To see the wild pitch and then everybody, go to Alvarez and celebrate it the way they did, that was just obviously incredibly unique.
It was the 294th no-hitter in Major League history. We've had this discussion, which is more rare, a no-hitter or a cycle. 294 no-hitters, 22 of those have been perfect games, 314 cycles. So just a few more cycles than no-hitters. And of course the Marlins now have 6 no-hitters. They're the only team in baseball that has never had a cycle.
Yeah, that's crazy. To me, they've had a triples park the entire time.
And of course the Padres, who've been around since '69, still don't have a no-hitter. There's Dietrich now, and Shipley misses in with a fastball. Iannetta out for a visit.
Two things have been an issue for Shipley. See tomorrow's telecast will be in Chicago. Straley and Butler going to get after it tomorrow night. 3 night games in Chicago against the reigning world champions. Getting back to Shipley and his big league career so far, 2 things have plagued him. In fact, his one start this year, it was an issue. The walks. Last year, it was a combination of the walks and the homers. That's why you see Iannetta out to the mound already.
Dietrich Goldschmidt wheels, fires into left field. On his way to third is Ozuna. Pro there. Ozuna's in safely, and Miami gets a big break. A 2-time Gold Glover just airmailed the throw. You rarely see that.
Yeah, you don't see Goldschmidt do this too often, but my first instinct is to say that he took his time too much. You see it right there. The throw just kind of sails off. It's exactly what you want to do. You got to give yourself a throwing lane, and he did. But again, you see as the ball is racing away from second base. So does everything correct right here. Turn, fire, trying to hit him on the bag, and then right back to him. Just that throw got away. He really didn't rush it, just took his time and airmailed it.
So a break for Miami, and let's see if they can walk through the door. Tyler Moore, A.J. Ellis, J.T. Riddle also due up now at the corners and nobody out. Moore getting a start in place of Justin Bour. Bour tweaked an ankle a bit yesterday and legging out that late double. Tom Mattingly feels he should be available to pinch hit.
Tyler Moore, who got off to a great start with the Marlins this year, the at-bats have been hard to come by. Positions he backs up have been playing great baseball this year, so you see Tyler Moore get the opportunity to get in there today.
Tyler Moore, left field, that's deep. Back goes Herman at the wall, and it's gone. A 3-run shot, and a 3-1 lead for Miami.
Well, really good to see him get an opportunity to get in there today. Outstanding for Tyler Moore. Fire those hands in. Look at this launch angle. Look at the ability to pull the hands in. Tyler Moore, look at that. That is outstanding. That is textbook. Pulling your hands in, recognizing a fastball, probably with some tailing action in off the plate, and cutting it off, beating it to the spot right there. Well done.
So a spot start And Tyler Moore drives one out of here.
I'm even happier for him now. I was just happy to see him in the lineup today.
And a nice handshake from Justin Bour as well.
There you go.
Ellis, Riddle, and then the pitcher Vance Worley. AJ getting the start. And Ellis cranks one into center field. One of the things that has worked against the Tyler Moores, the AJ Ellises, Ichiro, guys looking to get starts and get at bats, is the fact that the Marlins were losing 20 of 25 games at one point, and for a manager, it's really hard to all of a sudden say, all right, let's give you a day off and give you a day off and get these guys some ABs in the middle of that.
Right, managers don't. I mean, that's not a Don Mattingly thing. That's any big league manager. Your hands are tied. I mean, it's when you're starving for wins and when your team is struggling, you march the guys, you march the army out there, your troops, your starters out there every day to fix the problem, and that's what you're getting at. Well, offensively over the last 2 weeks, it's really fixed itself. I mean, this offense is rolling right now, and then that's now become the other problem, is that everybody's swinging the bat so well. Donnie's like, yeah, I don't want to give guys days off. I want to keep them out there. I want to keep them hot.
Riddle now, and you got Ellis at first. Vance Worley is on deck. And JT takes a strike. Worley had a hit in his last ball game. Riddle was 0 for 3 in yesterday's game. 1 for 11 on the series. That one's hit pretty well. It's down the line. Herman giving chase, and he makes the catch on the warning track. Ellis hustles back to first.
Tell you what, that error by Goldschmidt, enormous this inning. Tyler Moore cashing that in.
Well, if you are on the go and you want to watch the game, hey, you still can do it on a tablet, on a watch, on a phone. Stream the game live with Fox Sports Go. Download the app. Take Fox Sports Florida Marlins baseball with you wherever you go. Here's Worley. Let's see if he's bunting here. He squares. It's a called strike.
Yeah, I don't anticipate AJ Ellis pulling any Justin Bours anytime soon, so I would guess that Vance Worley would be bunting here.
However, though, with the pitcher bunting, there's a little more pressure for him to get a good jump and avoid a double play that would end the game, or excuse me, end the inning. When you're in this spot and you have the catcher running at first base, you have to make sure that the bunt is a good one.
Now, you also have to be able to read what's going on around you as far as corners crashing, and if they're coming that hard, sometimes the hard bunt past one of them is the way to go.
That hard bunt ends up over by the Diamondbacks dugout.
Other than it going foul, I believe Vance was thinking that right there. You know, guys that come and crash as hard as they do, it's not about catching it and putting it down, you know, trying to make that perfect bunt. In a lot of ways, a really hard bunt in this situation will be what you want, preferably past one of those corner infielders.
Going to swing away, and he foul tips it into the glove of Chris Iannetta. So D. Gordon will come up with 2 outs. I think this inning, again, an illustration of something you pointed out in the middle of this homestand. There were a few breaks, a few bounces that went Miami's way, and that's the first step. The second step is to take advantage of those breaks, and the Marlins have started to do that, and obviously the Moore home run is taking a great advantage of it. That's into right field. Ellis is going to turn second and head to third. Gordon stops at first. And Miami at the corners now for a Stanton at bat. And D. Gordon just keeps on hitting.
Sure does. Picks on a first pitch changeup. Told you that's the 3rd best pitch for Shipley. Got a lot of depth right there out over the plate. D. Gordon makes it pay, lines it into right field. Turn around first base right there and sets up Marlins' hottest hitter, Giancarlo Stanton, with an RBI opportunity here in the second inning.
Stanton, who's hit in 6 straight, bounced to short back in the first. Diamondbacks outfield has played Stanton to right center throughout this series. Fastball in. On base percentage 360, slugging percentage 569, and they just keep going up and up.
He's been taking full advantage of some of the shifting that's been going on. See right here, this line right through here. Huge hole over there. Giancarlo Stanton has been taking full advantage of that throughout the homestand, as they've been playing him to pull on the infield.
Fouls that one at the plate. Took a look at his bat. It didn't sound all that solid, but it's not broken.
Good look right there. Giancarlo, I think, talking to himself. Hitters, we're all the same way. We all talk to ourselves. It's pretty interesting. Good conversations every now and again.
Gordon runs, pitches low. D's got a stolen base. When you talk to yourself as a hitter, is it just concepts that you're trying to reinforce?
Well, you're talking yourself through the at-bat. You're talking about what you're looking for, maybe something that surprised you. And you said, oh, okay, well, I wasn't looking for that. Why did I swing at it? Was it because I was surprised, or because I was, all of a sudden, something changed in your mind into what is or isn't your game plan?
Stanton's game plan lately has been to stay middle, stay opposite, and not chase. He's done it very, very well. 2-2. Breaking ball, hard hit at short. Ahmed on a knee across. Goldschmidt picks it and saves 2 runs, because Gordon would have scored from second. He was about 30 feet from home when that play ended. Demo Den. I smell the Demo Den. Todd Hollinsworth's on his way. We're going launch angle. Homer, Miami up 3-1. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Not so much. We're headed to the Demo Den. Todd Hollinsworth.
Well, let's give you a quick example of what Tyler Moore did so right on that 3-run home run that you just saw. It was a great piece of hitting, and it was great to talk about launch angle. He's one of the guys that certainly I keep my eyes on. Of course, he doesn't get nearly as many at-bats as the regulars do, but Tyler Moore does as well get very good launch angle when he's swinging. One of the other great things that I want to tell you about in that swing was how well he pulled his hands inside the baseball. So now remember this, all I can do is show it to you on a tee, but I want you to think along with me as I'm kind of showing you this angle. As that pitch was coming in, and of course I'm showing it to you from the left side, obviously Tyler Moore is right-handed, but it's the exact same effect. This ball was coming in and it was kind of working its way. It was a two-seam fastball which works its way into his body towards the inside corner. So I'm going to place this right here because this is where it actually ends up. So when you watch his swing, and again, we talk about that little bit of lift and getting that really good launch angle, but what else he did so well was when he was in there and you saw that swing, was this bottom hand was very strong. That's what took over. It wasn't the top hand, it was the bottom hand. Watch it. You see it right there as we're showing it to you. Watch that bottom hand. See how that back elbow tucks in? And he pulls through, and you see me doing it right here. You have to have an incredibly strong hand. This is a very rotational swing that Tyler Moore showed you right here. So you guys, you kids at home, you want to practice this, you got to make sure you have a strong bottom hand and you really pull the knob of that bat down into the zone. It's not about getting your arms way out here. It's about pulling them in and cutting that pitch off. That's exactly what he did so well, and his extension was more through it like this than it was sometimes when we see, say, Giancarlo Stanton, who gets into it, and we're talking about hitting home runs way out here. Tyler Moore was in here. That ball was getting its way in, and he pulled those hands through, was able to get that little bit of angle that you need in order to elevate that ball down into the zone, and you saw how high that ball came off his bat and went out to left center field.
Hey, Washington Post had a really interesting article, Todd, the other day on launch angle, and we've talked about it. It's really been a word that has spread through the game over the last 2-3 years. There's the launch angle for Moore, 31 degrees.
Yeah.
What do the numbers mean to you? I know in your era, the launch angle, people didn't really break it down like that, but with StatCast now, we know what the launch angle is.
That's exactly right. Well, see, now you have the evidence that proves this out, and what you're seeing with this generation are guys who are much more willing to practice this, and this is what I find so interesting. Basically what you're saying is, are we going to practice hitting fly balls? And you say, my generation said, what are you talking about? You practice hitting line drives. What's a line drive? Well, a line drive is getting into the zone at the plane of the baseball as quickly as you possibly can. For me, this is what we would have been practicing. Hands into the zone, long through the zone, with the idea that you're going to hit the barrel just behind the middle of the baseball, and that no matter where I choose to hit this ball, it's going to come off low, and it's going to be a line drive, and it's going to be a conversation centered around exit velocity, not height and exit velocity. What this generation is willing to understand, because of all this great information that's around them, they say, well, you know, yeah, it's great to get our hits, and sure, batting average is fine, but we got to talk about the home runs, because that's instant offense. We've got to counter all the defensive shifting. We've got to counter the ability to control the running game.
That one down the left field line. Jake Lamb has just doubled, and the Diamondbacks are set up with runners at second and third.
Yeah, one last thought on that, Rich, and I'll leave it at that. This generation is willing to practice getting that backspin, which is entering the zone more at an angle, as opposed to, I was talking about getting through and staying in, kind of like Tony Gwynn used to talk about this all the time. His swing was like, look how long that bat is in the zone, right? That's what he would practice. This generation, they think more like this. Down into the zone, and then through at the point of contact, but that creates massive amounts of backspin. This ball wants to jump off the bat, but it wants to jump up in the air, thus creating lots and lots of fly balls.
All right, nice work in the demo den. 3-1 Miami. Vance Worley in some trouble here. A walk to Paul Goldschmidt, a double by Jake Lamb. Chris Owings is up. Miami's infield back up the middle, halfway at first and at third. Moore's at first, Dietrich's at third. And Worley's 1-0. Little looper down the right field line, and it's a foul ball. Ball and a strike to Owings. Miami trying to win this series, a chance to take 3 of 4 from Arizona. The Diamondbacks trying to get a 500 split. Up the middle, that'll chase home a run. Gordon on to first in time. Moving to third, Behind the throw was Jake Lamb. So Arizona gets one of those runs back. And Worley has to get Chris Iannetta out here to finish the inning. Mr. Launch Angle is back and strapped in.
My way over from the den, all good to go. Chris Iannetta walked his last at bat.
Worley misses with his first pitch. Diamondbacks have barreled some balls up here.
Yeah.
Miami's 3 runs coming on the Tyler Moore home run. And he's 2-0 on him. Nick Ahmed is the on-deck hitter. Marlins at Wrigley Field tomorrow night. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night games. Good breaking ball.
Nice mix right there by Worley, able to pick up a strike on the 2-0 pitch. Fastball up in the zone. He goes to the same spot to start and drops it in at the top of the zone.
That's a strike, and Kerwin Danley has been calling that pitch a strike, and when it hits that top of the box like that, and that's right in the middle of the box. Iannetta not sure what he was looking for. Worley gets out and holds the lead, although the Diamondbacks cut it in half. And it's 3-2 Miami.
Game, good series here, good homestand. 3-2, bottom of the 3rd inning. Boy, after Edinson Volquez won that game last night, that's a lineup card you want to keep. And in the case of Arizona Diamondbacks, they always look like a thing of beauty thanks to their coach, Jerry Narron, who took up calligraphy back in the early 90s. He'll even do guys like Ichiro, Hall of Famers, in their native writing. Now, the regular names he'll complete with vowels, but for the position players on the right and left, he will not use a vowel unless you're a surefire Hall of Famer. He said there are none on either team. If you're surefire, like if Derek Jeter wasn't playing one day, he would put his name in complete, J-E-T-E-R. Otherwise, it'd be J-T-R if he was on the bench. Where did he take it up? Early 90s, he was coaching for Johnny Oates, wanted to make it look a little sharper. Didn't take any classes, but he told me, hey, if you want to do something, you got to do it at the best. And he does a great job each and every time he fills out a lineup card. There's the no vowels there on the left. For example, even his own players, Iannetta, Owings, but Ichiro, he would spell out because he's a surefire Hall of Famer.
Huh. That's pretty cool. Jerry Narron, former Major League catcher, Major League manager.
Played for him twice.
Did you really?
Did.
Where? Texas?
Interesting enough, Texas was one, and Cincinnati is the other. Short stints.
Did he write you any letters?
No, he didn't. But I didn't even. I mean, it's we're watching this. I'm like, well, he was the manager then, so
yeah,
he wasn't doing this.
Right. Managers don't make out their own lineup.
Right.
There was a time, right, where the manager, probably in a smoke-filled office, has got his little lineup sheet and he's writing it out. Maybe if they're ball club's in a losing streak, writes it out and then crumples it up, throws it away, and tries again.
Absolutely.
2-2 to Yelich.
Hey guys, Narron was only with the Yankees for 1 year, but he was thrust into really one of the dark days of Yankee history. August 3rd, that was after Thurman Munson died in that plane crash. He was the backup catcher, and he turned out to be the catcher to take over for Munson in New York. And if you recall last year, as Yelich gets a hit, Rich, when we were in New York a year or two ago, Diana Munson was honored with her family on the tragic anniversary of that happening in Thurman Munson's life.
You know, Craig, I'll tell you a story that involves that game that has a Marlin tied to it. Obviously, the horrible circumstances around Jose Fernandez's death last year happened on a Sunday. That game was canceled. We had to televise the Monday game, and I think all of us were looking for perspective and how to handle it. That was the one game that really had similar circumstances. You know, the Yankees back after Munson's death, that emotional night at Yankee Stadium. A friend of mine, Dennis Lewin, who is a great television producer, actually did that game, produced that game, and I was able, during the day leading up to that telecast, just to pick his brain a little bit, and he gave me some really good insight, advice on how he handled it and how almost what to expect during the night.
That was an ABC game, right? Wasn't Keith Jackson and Howard Cosell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was against the Orioles, I believe.
Marcell Ozuna standing in here. Yelich with a base hit. He's got 5 stolen bases, and he's yet to be caught. Derek Dietrich's on deck. Yelich is leaning, not running. Ozuna takes out. Braden Shipley, the 25-year-old right-hander, making a start here. This was to be Taijuan Walker's day. Walker, the hard-throwing right-hander that the Diamondbacks got from Seattle. I believe that was the Gene Segura trade. And he has a blister issue, so he's not out there in this one.
Well, he's on his way back.
Ozuna cranks one center field, hit well. Fuentes back, looks up, bangs off the wall. Yelich sprinting for third. No one's at second for Ozuna, who arrives now. That is a 407-foot bullet to center, and Miami set up at second and third and nobody out.
Ninth double on the season for Marcell Ozuna. Great swing of the bat right here. My goodness. Just told you about leveling off through the zone right there. That is leveling off in the zone. This is a 407-foot laser beam, Rich, just as you said right there. A little more loft. That's a long, long home run. But again, squares it up perfectly off the wall. Great swing of the bat right there, and sets the Marlins up with runners on second and third here in the third.
Big at bat for Dietrich. He fouls it back.
Bad wrist.
Exit speed 106 miles an hour on the Ozuna double.
Hit through it too hard.
Now the Diamondbacks have 3 infielders on their right side. They are not back and they're not in. They're like halfway. With Yelich's speed, even a ground ball, he should be able to score. Of course, Dietrich would love to knock them both home.
Did you double take right there? Second base umpire was throwing me off. I was like, did they call in an outfielder?
Yeah, he's got the same color uniform.
This is what happened the other night. We went through this. Unbelievable. I kept going, wait a minute. They're playing with 10 guys.
Dietrich in the air to center field. That's Fuentes out there. Yelich is tagging. So is Ozuna. Here comes Yelich. The throw comes to the cutoff man. And Miami gets the run across. Dietrich delivers. And the lead is back to 2 runs at 4-2.
Nice job by Dietrich right there, getting a fly ball to center field. Fuentes has shown throughout this series good accuracy, but not necessarily the strongest arm in the game. Job well done right there.
Well, second round for Braden Shipley and Tyler Moore. The first one ended up about 415 feet away, the 3-run homer. Shipley busts out a breaking ball and misses 1-0. A.J. Ellis on deck. Bottom 3 here. Shipley, the cousin of Jordan Shipley, wide receiver in the NFL. That one's hit well. Right center field. Owings at the track, makes the catch. Ozuna cruises into third. Boy, 2 really good swings by Tyler Moore. And Ellis with 2 outs.
Short, quick swing right there by Moore. A couple of really nice at-bats. 3-run home run.
Coming back to South Florida, Guns and Roses, not in this lifetime tour. They'll storm into Marlins Park on August 8th. Of course, I'm obligated to say it's your chance to enter the jungle. Get your tickets at marlins.com/GNR. There's Ellis, who singled to center his first time up.
Apparently it is going to be in my lifetime.
You didn't think so, did you?
Well, as I was listening to you, I was contemplating things.
Ellis lifts a fly ball to right field. Owings calling, catching. And Miami will have to settle for 1 run. And the lead now 4-2.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins. They may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and the descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins.
You tell them, Terry Swan. In Miami, 4-2. Marlins on top of the Diamondbacks. Hey, a job fair coming up. If you're interested in working during the All-Star game, the Marlins will have a job for you, but you've got to come down in person on Tuesday, June 6th, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. The Marlins and Major League Baseball are recruiting folks, kids, adults to work, and the job fair is Tuesday, June 6th. Come on down and apply. For information, marlins.com/jobs. marlins.com/jobs. Make sure you bring copies of your resume. Attire, just like Todd Hollinsworth, is business professional. And you have to attend to be considered for employment. You're going to work, if you get the job, from July 3rd all the way through July 12th. So you'll be able to work some of the big events with the All-Star game coming here.
Might bump into a few All-Stars while you're at it. It's going to be a lot in town.
Yeah. So it's June 6th, the job fair. Meanwhile, back at the ball game, Nick Ahmed is up. Ray Fuentes, Braden Shipley, bottom third of the order for the Diamondbacks. Both teams have had success swinging the bats. Vance Worley has given up 4 hits and 2 runs, including 3 doubles. Daniel Descalso, Jake Lamb, and Ray Fuentes all with doubles.
Nice try right there by Vance Worley. Big inning for him as he's at the bottom of the Diamondbacks lineup. Certainly wants to put up a goose egg, but the Marlins able to tack on runs here. Keep this Marlins team, or excuse me, this Diamondbacks team from answering.
Pitch is out. And a leadoff walk sends Ahmed to first. What a day and night in Major League Baseball. Obviously, the no-hitter was the first this year. There were 7 grand slams hit in baseball, an all-time record yesterday. Late, of course, the big one was Albert Pujols for number 600. That grand slam for the Angels. Mike Zunino, who drove in 7 runs for Seattle.
That was a bomb.
He also had a grand slam. Kyle Schwarber breaking out of a slump with a grand slam. A strike to Fuentes, guy that we saw in Los Angeles, Chris Taylor. And in that same game, Travis Shaw of Milwaukee, Ian Desmond for the Rockies, and Matt Adams, channeling his inner Freddie Freeman, had a grand slam as well.
As a Brave.
7.
7 of them.
Which means, cue the showstopper. The 1-2.
Nice swing. This is a good story here. The guy that catches this ball hands the ball to Pujols at the end of the ball game today. There was an on-field ceremony and everything like that. I just thought it was really cool. The Angels handled it well. The guy who caught it handled it.
Oh, and then this happened.
What happened here? What was this all? Oh, a no-hitter?
Fuentes lines it into left field. Up with the ball, Ozuna. Runner coming to third. Ozuna's throw, cut, and sliding into second is Fuentes. And the Diamondbacks are right back in business. A walk to Ahmed, and Fuentes, we'll see if he gets a double. It's a single and a fielder's choice.
Now, this has been an interesting set of circumstances the last 3 innings, where a walk at the top of the inning has led to a double or a fielder's choice, however you look at it. But this scenario here, runners on second and third for 3 straight innings, going to set up the same way all 3 innings.
Got the pitcher up, Braden Shipley. Remember, he had a hard ground ball at Dietrich in the second. Top of the order after that is Descalso and Herman. Again, Dietrich, and the runner almost came home. Dietrich, a terrific play. Everybody holds. Ahmed thought about it, but Dietrich spun around like he was ready to come home with it.
It's like watching Groundhog's Day right now, for crying out loud. Nice play by Dietz over there at third base, able to check that runner. Spin and strong throw across the diamond to Moore. keep things in check. A couple innings ago, this just happened. Exact same circumstances. How about it?
Now Descalso, infield back except for Dietrich. Descalso has got 4 home runs this season. His base hit, the double in the first, snapped a 13-inning hitless skid. Diamondbacks were 0 for 39 in that run.
Yeah, going back 2 ball games. Marlins bullpen took over game 2 of this series, retired 14 straight. Pair that with the no-hitter yesterday, come up with a lot of futility for the Diamondbacks.
Worley behind in the count, 2-1. Trying to pitch out of another jam here in the 4th. The Diamondbacks have had 2 base runners on in every inning. Leadoff double in the first started things. Leadoff walk in the second started the second. A 1-out walk opened the third, and another leadoff walk here in the 4th. Descalso down the right field line, and that's going to tie the game up. And Daniel Descalso has another extra base hit. He'll hold at second, his second double of the ball game.
Well, the one thing the Arizona Diamondbacks really couldn't do is come through with runners in scoring position up until this right here. 1 for 7 in the ball game. Yeah, a lot of traffic out there, but see that 2-seam fastball tailing back out over the plate. Descalso lines it into the right field corner. Drive in 2 runs right there and put himself in scoring position.
Miami's bullpen is up. Juan Nieves, who certainly had a great perspective on what was going on yesterday. He threw a no-hitter in his major league career, the only no-hitter in the Milwaukee Brewers history. And it's Dustin McGowan in Miami's pen. By the way, the Marlins came into existence in 1993. Since then, now 6 no-hitters. That's more than anybody else in baseball. The Giants have 5 in that time. Boston, the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Phillies, and Seattle all with 4.
Rich, you've been here for a long time, 13+ years.
Yes.
Would you attribute that to a reason or randomness?
I would attribute that to good starting pitching. I mean, if you look at the guys that have thrown the no-hitters, I mean, Kevin Brown, Al Leiter.
Right.
Anibal Sanchez nearly threw 2 more when he was a Marlin. He took 1 against the Rockies into the 9th inning, and
right.
I believe it was Dexter Fowler, a little ground ball into right field. You know, Alvarez was an all-star. Volk has certainly had everything going for him.
Well, it's an interesting conversation. I've always found intrigued by, you know, people try to find reason in these things. Like, why haven't the San Diego Padres had a no-hitter, you know, with their ballpark, what it used to be? I mean, you can almost make the argument up until a couple of years ago, very much a pitcher's ballpark, yet they can't seem to find a no-hitter in their history. Obviously, the Marlins have no issues at all. They seem to happen quite frequently. And in fact, I was thinking about this going home last night. Back to our April. I mean, we had, I don't know what, 3 or 4 different starters this year. You know, 5 innings, 6 innings of no-hit baseball. Wei Chen up in Seattle.
The Marlins actually have 3 games through 7 innings this year without a hit, which leads baseball as well.
Right.
Ozuna over and back and makes the catch. And Herman is out. Worley now has to deal with Goldschmidt with 2 outs. Marlins live tomorrow. Chicago. Jessica Blaylock, Preston Wilson. They'll be in the studio. Dan Straley. And Wrigley Field. Diamondbacks is going to make the move now. He's going to go get McGowan to face Goldschmidt, who has an RBI single and has walked. He doesn't want him to face Worley for the 3rd straight time. The runner in scoring position. So Miami skipper makes the move now. In a 4-4 game. Marlins baseball on Fox Sports Florida is brought to you by Jeep. Get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance event. And by your South Florida Chevy dealers. Vance Worley done here in the 4th. So for Worley, 3 2/3 innings. Dustin McGowan is in. The impetus for this is the series that Paul Goldschmidt has had. He's driven in 5, walked a lot, and has 4 hits. You see McGowan's numbers. Everybody in that bullpen pretty much had a day off. Nick Wickren heated up. And of course, A.J. Ramos heated up at the end as well. Obviously, Volquez went the distance.
Well, for Dustin McGowan, his 2nd appearance against the Arizona Diamondbacks, got 2 huge outs a couple of games ago. Well, you and I attributed that win to those 2 big outs. He came in with runners on 1st and 3rd.
He did. That was in the 7-5 win, and then he came back out in the 6th inning and had a 1-2-3 inning.
Right, he's been rolling, and so is this Marlins bullpen. 17 consecutive batters have been retired. Dustin McGowan, this thing tied at 4. Big out here. Getting Paul Goldschmidt.
With the Major League Draft coming up, Goldschmidt is a great reminder for everybody that you don't have to be a 1st-round bonus baby to be a star in this league. Goldschmidt out of Texas State, which is in San Marcos, Texas. He was an 8th-round pick.
I blame the draft. I mean, have we not watched this game long enough? I mean, it's pretty impressive. I mean, it's not just his hitting, prowess. dominant numbers. I mean, this guy's a great defender, good base runner. I mean, he does a lot of things right. I really am shocked that somebody this talented fell as far as he did in the draft. But you're right. I mean, you still get great examples of that from every now and again. Guys farther down in the draft coming up and having very, very nice careers.
He's been the face of the franchise now for 5 seasons. Got a couple Silver Sluggers, couple Gold Gloves, 4 straight All-Star appearances.
Make that my homework assignment before we go out to Arizona to find out what the missing ingredient was around there, because clearly the draft or organizations must have seen something in his game where they certainly recognize the talent but didn't see him as a top-line guy.
Well, one of the issues may have been where he played his college ball. Texas State is not necessarily
right. You know, I completely agree, but what, you know, again, how that story happens, there's always a story behind it. You just got to find it.
All right, that's your homework. The good news is the deadline is until late September.
Exactly right. Of course, I gave myself plenty of time.
Here's a 1-2. In the dirt, Ellis knocks it down. Ellis out for a visit. Speaking of no-hitters, the catchers who have caught the most no-hitters: Carlos Ruiz and Jason Varitek have caught 4 each.
With 2 strikes, the Marlins have shallowed up a little bit in the outfield.
Oh, Ellis really having to wrestle the ball right now. Gowan bouncing this one.
He's trying to get Paul Goldschmidt to chase. Pitches a go. Another slider in the dirt. Behind home plate, that in front.
Gowan ready. Scalzo still out at second. And it's foul back. A.J. Ellis, speaking of no-hitters, caught Clayton Kershaw's in 2014. Good battle here. Goldschmidt crushes one. Left center field and deep. Off the top of the wall. It stays in play. Diamondbacks have the lead. Goldschmidt has another RBI. And Miami is now trailing in this ball game 5-4.
Well, another great example of Paul Goldschmidt's power. 14th double on the season.
Now let's see where it hits. Now the yellow is in play. The yellow line is there for umpires' visual. It's got to hit above or beyond the yellow line.
No, it hit just the inside of that line, and that's why the ricochet was to Marcell Ozuna. You saw Christian Yelich. Watch this. That's why it's going to bounce back to the left. So our eyes would tell us right there. See, it hits that upper corner right there and just shoots back down.
Now Torey Lovello just came in and asked the umpires. This is when the umpires themselves can go to review and take a look. And they are going to take a look at this.
Yeah, why not? It's pretty clear what it did. Our great cameramen, always on top of it, getting good angles. Saw that pretty clear the first time.
This is a crew chief review, so it's not a challenge. Says, hey, you're at second. Stay there. Bill Miller,
don't move.
Third base umpire. Again, the yellow line is not the home run line. It is a line of demarcation to help visually with the umpires in that little corner spot.
Diamondbacks 7 hits today, 5 doubles.
Intentional walk. Blink and you missed it.
Huh?
Chris Owings up now. So a bullpen game the rest of the way for Miami. That was quite a battle. McGowan against Goldschmidt. That's a liner to center. Yelich back, turns. Nicely done. Christian Yelich runs it down on a difficult play, but the Diamondbacks scored 3 times and lead it 5-4. Of Braden Shipley, 59 pitches, 35 of them strikes, 68%. He's relying on the fastball, the curveball at 17%, and the changeup's been effective at times for him as well. And at 5-4, Arizona lead, bottom 4. JT Riddle is up. Now the top of the inning ended when Jake Lamb hit a bolt to center. Christian Yelich made the catch. Here's the 1-0. That caught the attention of our Todd Hollinsworth, who's back in the demo den.
Just a real quick one, guys. I wanted to show you that great catch that Christian Yelich made. And for you kids at home, a drill that you can do. This is a lot of fun. What did you see Christian Yelich do when he went back for that ball? He turned his back to the field. He took his head off the baseball because he had to redirect. It was fun to see. You see that base hit right there through the left side. JT Riddle, Marlins getting ready to respond. What Christian Yelich did so well, look as he's pursuing. That's a great pursuit angle right there, making his way back, and he spins back around. I'm going to give you a quick look at it myself. As you're running back, you do exactly like he does. He realizes that the ball is going to be over his other shoulder. So instead, you can't do like this. You're going to turn back around and you're going to lose your balance. You saw how smooth Christian Yelich was. So when you see him going back like this, and this is something you can practice at home, I got a little bit shorter steps here, you do like this. You turn back around and then you can pursue this way. And this is an easy drill to do at home with tennis balls. Guys, you can get your dad to do this with you. Grab a bucket of tennis balls and do just that. Get yourself in the ready position, turn, start this way, and as you're doing it, turn back around. The more that you do it, much like riding a bike, the better you'll get at it. And if you do it enough, you can do it like Christian Yelich just did.
All right, very nice. Dustin McGowan trying to bunt. Riddle's at first. That's a hard bunt and foul. And the count's 0-2. This has been a back and forth affair. Arizona a 1-0 lead in the first. Tyler Moore, a 3-run homer, gave Miami a 3-1 lead. Arizona answered back with a run. Miami answered with a run, and then 3 in the fourth has given the Diamondbacks a 1-run lead. It feels like this should be the 7th or the 8th inning, and it's only bottom 4. McGowan finds himself in a bunt spot. Ooh, wow. He kind of ducked in and had that helmet hanging over the inside part. Watch this. That was almost a strike. In fact, that, I don't know if we could throw the Fox box up, but that may have been a strike. That's a strike at the knees. No question there. All right, here's the previous pitch. Let's see if this catches the zone. Ooh, that's close. Just off.
How many knuckle curveballs do you think Dustin McGowan's seen in his lifetime? Not very many.
Not enough. Now, he got Riddle at first, and here's D. Gordon. He's bounced out, singled, and has a stolen base. Riddle still looking for his first major league stolen base. Gordon shortens the bunt. Braden Shipley is in the Marlins box score. 67 pitches in.
We see production up and down the Marlins lineup. Same could be said for the Diamondbacks as well against Vance Worley. The feel coming into this one that there might be a little bit of offense early in this game. Clearly you see that 5-4 ball game here in the fourth.
Gordon goes for a walk after this pitch, and that's why. Boy, my goodness, look how far out that is. Oh, 2. Stanton's on deck. Riddle's at first. 1 out. Bottom 4. D just fighting off pitch after pitch.
Well, he's got to right there, especially after that last breaking ball that was way outside the strike zone away. You get that call to strike, you feel the need to defend it. I mean, you don't know where the line gets drawn as far as where that outside corner is. So, what D did right there, you foul it off.
Gordon hits a bouncer towards second. Descalso backhands. Quick turn by Ahmed. That is a nifty double play by the Diamondbacks, and Miami's inning ends here in the fourth. A 1-run game in Miami today. Arizona up a run. Beginning June 15th, greatest players in the world descend upon Erin Hills for one of golf's most anticipated events of the year. Dustin Johnson looks to defend his title. Jason Day, Jordan Spieth, Rory McIlroy, though, will all be after it. The ultimate test, the 117th U.S. Open, begins June 15th on Fox FS1, and it streams live on Fox Sports Go. In Miami today on this Sunday, 5-4 lead. Dustin McGowan, the Fred Hutchison Award winner this offseason, facing Chris Iannetta. Roller out towards shorts. That's Riddle across the diamond. And Chris Owings is out number 1 in the 5th. The Fred Hutchison Award is given to a major league player who embodies the spirit, the courage of the late Fred Hutchison, major league player and a major league manager who died of cancer back in the 50s. That is a very prestigious award, and all the injuries that this guy has had, McGowan, Tommy John, labrum, rotator cuff, shoulder, had cartilage in his knee repaired, all of that while pitching with type 1 diabetes. A 35-year-old out of Savannah, Georgia. And for a run of 4 seasons, 09 through 2012, because of all those surgeries and all of the injuries, he appeared in just 5 games. He was able to breathe life back into his major league career. A really nice year with Miami last season. He's 0-2 on Nick Ahmed. Any grand slams yet in baseball? Today, 7 of them yesterday. 1 no-hitter and 7 grand slams. And of course, a milestone with Albert Pujols. Congratulations to him, number 600.
Yeah, there's only a few places with enough runs to even qualify for a grand slam as I'm looking across the scoreboard today. Just a few spots.
Well, I'd go to Cincinnati first. That would be my first stop. If I'm looking, here's the 0-2. Ahmed swings and misses. Ellis digs it out, tags him out. Zach Cozart, who's having a really nice season, hit his 8th homer in that game. It was just a 2-run shot. The Braves, Santana, Adams, and Ender Inciarte, former Diamondback. And Inciarte's was a 3-run shot. Braves 9-3 on top. That's midway through. There's a liner. Yelich on his way, and it lands for a hit. Ray Fuentes coming to life.
His 3rd hit in the ball game today.
Braden Shipley gets his 3rd at bat. Twice he's hit it hard at Derek Dietrich. Former college shortstop swings and misses. Marlins on this road trip have the Cubs for 3 and the Pirates for 4. The Pirates are in New York taking on the Mets and have a 5-1 lead in the 6th. It's a Trevor Williams start for the Pirates. A couple of throwing errors by Michael Conforto have led to a pair of unearned runs. Marlins at the very basement of the National League East, at the point where they had lost 20 of 25, but a really nice homestand has taken them out of the basement, right on the tail of the Braves and the Mets. The Mets sit in second in the East. Mets are 10 out of Washington, who has a commanding lead. Atlanta's 10.5, and Miami's just 11 back now. And I say just because the Marlins were buried well below Philadelphia about 2 weeks ago.
Nice run here. Good to see the Marlins respond. All three phases of their game moving in the right direction.
0-2 gets by Ellis. Breaking ball. Around second, holding is Fuentes.
Pitching has been better. Bullpen has been outstanding of late. Offense rolling right now. This is a big road trip. At some point they were going to probably play better baseball here at Marlins Park, their home ground, their home turf. Trip to Chicago and a trip to Pittsburgh over the next 7 days. No days off.
Pitches in, and of course Miami's rotation is still somewhat patchwork. Worley back in there today in another emergency start. Stan Straley on Monday against Eddie Butler. Marlins see Jake Arrieta, and Jeff Locke gets another start. He was outstanding his first start back, coming off the DL. Jose Urena on Wednesday against John Lackey. Riddle on to first in time. Shipley's hit it hard all 3 times on an 0 for 3, but Arizona's up by a run. Road trip for the Fish. Maybe a stop at the Cubby Bear. Maybe, huh? Tomorrow through Wednesday, Marlins at Cubs, 3-game series. Parkland's Anthony Rizzo will be there. And then we'll take Todd Hollinsworth to Primanti Brothers, get him one of those sandwiches. And it's on, a 4-gamer in Pittsburgh, the Buccos and the Fish. Andrew McCutchen Jessica Blaylock will not be on the river playing Frisbee with strangers. It's one of the highlights. That, along with the visit to not only Primanti Brothers, but also the Roberto Clemente Museum. Have you been to the Clemente Museum?
I have not.
We're going to have to take you.
I noticed this in our studio here, our broadcast, the Rich Waltz Broadcast Center up here, that there were pictures from the Clemente Center. And yes. I see them with a lot of everybody, and I'm guessing that's where they're from. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
There we were last year. That's us.
Very good.
It's a very cool spot. And it's an old firehouse. And little did we know that underneath the firehouse in the basement is a winemaking business, which helps support. There it is. It helps support and keep the museum going. And there are many, many major leaguers, big stars, that have casks of wine that were custom grown. The grapes are sent into Pittsburgh, where they are pressed, bottled, and for a lot of major leaguers, they have those casks for fundraising and charity events. And so, like if a star is invited to come to an event, they'll get a case of their own wine and bring it and autograph the bottles and raise a lot of money for charity. It's a very cool spot.
Yeah, look at that. I see a player there. He has a picture of himself on there. One of those bottles. Oh yeah, there's maybe, is that Jason Grilli over there? Yeah, that is Jason Grilli. Pirates uniform. I see him over in the corner.
I think Albert Pujols had a couple casks last time we went down there.
Really cool.
Yep, you'll enjoy it. We'll have a good time. Then we'll get you one of those Primanti Brothers sandwiches, and you'll be in business. 2-2 to Giancarlo Stanton. Christian Yelich, Marcell Ozuna follow. Stanton, a laser to right center field. He's done it again. Opposite field, off the wall. Stanton hunting for second, and he's in there. He is more hitter than slugger over the last 3 to 4 weeks. The batting average, the slugging percentage, the on base, all rising.
Well, he is just overpowering the baseball right now. I've said it once, I'll say it again. The eyes don't lie. Look what he's tracking right here. Looking away, driving away, staying through the baseball. It's so much fun to watch him like this. This is where you know, as the hitting coach, as Frank Menachino, he's like, bottle this up and don't forget it for the rest of your life. This is who you are. You're not sacrificing power. You've grown as a hitter. I've seen him grow, and I say this because I haven't seen him throughout his entire career. But what I've seen from this season, the growth that he has made in the last 2 weeks, if he maintains it, you will see a different Giancarlo Stanton for a long time. There is no reason for him to get away from this approach. He's still hitting for power. That, off the bat, 114 miles an hour. I wanted to rave about his last at bat, but he, obviously hit a ground ball out with some runners on. He laid off a really nasty slider. I mean, that's just it. The 1-2 pitch was filthy. He laid off it. Shipley went back to it again. It was a better pitch, and he was on it. I think that's the one thing that I would really hone in on is, simply put, he's not swinging at bad pitches anymore.
No, and it obviously has paid off. Yelich is 1 for 2. Singleton scored in the third. Stanton, the runner, at second in a 1-run Arizona lead. 2-0 changeup for a strike. It's 2-1. Marcell Ozuna will follow. Runs have not been hard to come by for either team. Let's see what Yelich gets. 3-1. He got a 2-0 changeup. Braden Shipley has thrown 80 pitches. He doubled up. He threw the changeup again. There's Kyle Bearclaw. So if he threw it 2-0 and he threw it 3-1, does he throw it 3-2?
Probably not. He's got a base open. Probably doesn't. Christian Yelich certainly respected around the game. I would be really shocked if he threw it 3 times in a row.
He did. And
Sure
Yelich is saying that's catcher's interference. You could hear the double hit, and Kerwin Danley says no, and Yelich is incensed. Don Mattingly's on his way out now. You could hear, listen to
there's
this.
a double hit. Yeah. Well, look at Iannetta too. He even lowers his hand, his glove hand. Watch him lower his glove hand.
Yeah, you can see
right there.
Oh,
Iannetta even gives it away.
Now Kerwin Danley can ask for help. Kerwin Danley can ask for help, and he is right now. All 4 umpires are around.
Yelly almost hit his glove off his hand. Look at that. Iannetta did that because he was holding on to his glove.
This is not reviewable by replay. And the umpires, that's a nice job by Kerwin Danley. It's a nice job by this umpiring group. Here is Torey Lovullo out, and he's going to find out exactly how the process went. It's pretty clear on replay.
Oh, yeah. Watch the glove of Iannetta. It's almost hit off his hand. He almost knocks it off.
It's not easy when you're behind the plate. You're listening. It's a sound thing.
Kerwin was locked in on the zone. Watch Kerwin. His head didn't follow. He wasn't tracking the baseball. He was locked in on the strike zone right there. Good job asking for help and getting the good result, getting the right result.
I'm not sure what Lovullo is upset about.
Well, I know.
I mean, certainly he's upset that the call was overturned by the umpires.
Well, I can tell you what's going on right here. He's saying Kerwin did everything right by going and asking the crew, but he's saying, how can you, way down there at third base, you over there at second, you over at first, see or hear it better than Kerwin, who said he didn't do it? That's his argument. Yeah. Well, you didn't see Torey Lovullo go up to Iannetta and ask him, because I think Iannetta would have been put in a very awkward position because he knows what happens here.
The result is 1st and 2nd, nobody out, and Ozuna coming up.
I think the oddest place to be in is Iannetta's position the whole time that's going on, by the way.
Right. Now, just like, you know, a called strike in these days, both video rooms look at it, and both dugouts know immediately what happened. Ozuna, right field, didn't get it all. Owings is back. Both runners tag. Stands on his way to third. And Yelich holds first. So at the corners, and here's Dietrich. Which brings us to our Geico Major League moment in 2009. The 24th 300-game winner, Randy Johnson. He was pitching for the Giants at the time at Nationals Park. 5-1 win for the big unit. All right, last week you had Tony Perez in the demo den talking about this very spot, and it's driving in a run. And there is a runner at third and less than 2 outs, but it's a double play spot. The Diamondbacks are going to bring their infield over on that first base side and still try to turn 2. Dietrich fouls it off.
Well, remember, Dietz' last time up picked up the sacrifice fly to center field against Shipley. I think in this situation it's very much the same thing. What did Tony teach us? Tony told us, don't change your game plan. You're not looking for a pitcher's pitch. You're looking for your pitch in a spot to get the ball to the outfield in the air. It's the ultimate goal right here. So for Dietrich, he's trying to get a ball up that he can handle and drive it to the outfield. Now, if he gets a base hit, if he pulls a line drive, sure, that's a byproduct of his thought, the extended thought, and that's what he's looking to do right here.
You know, the infield alignment puts a lot of pressure on Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, who's, as you see him, about 15 steps back and to the right of second base. If the ball's hit to his left, there's no way they can turn 2. Dietrich takes out. Now, if the ball's hit to Descalso, who's the infielder in the hole, Ahmed might have time to dash over and turn the pivot.
That's Ahmed right there, and you see the distance there. Don't get that confused. That's the umpire. That's your third baseman over here. So you see how much he has to cover, how much ground Rich is talking about.
Here's a 1-1. Dietrich lifts it left field. Stanton tags. Herman is there, makes the catch. Here comes Stanton, and Yelich all the way to second. I'm stunned that Herman threw it to the cutoff man, because as soon as he let loose, Yelich was on his way to second. Miami ties the game and gets a runner in scoring position.
You got to remember, Herman is we'll call him a utility guy because he plays multiple positions. He's a catcher by trade. You're absolutely right. Does everything right as far as lining himself up. That cut to home, it's got no business going there. That's a simple throw into second base and a great read by Christian Yelich. Here's why. You can chase that play all the way to second base and turn around and go back to first if you have to. Nice read. They made the wrong throw. Now the Marlins have a runner in scoring position.
Tyler Moore, a 3-run homer and a deep fly ball out. He has seen the ball well in his 2 at-bats. Breaking ball for a strike.
We've seen Shipley lean on that breaking ball a little bit more, kind of abandoned the changeup. Used it a bit at the beginning of the ball game, but it was hit hard a few times. Breaking ball has kind of been his go-to secondary pitch.
Arizona has scored in 3 of the 5 innings. Miami has scored in 3 of the 5 innings. And they've just been back and forth. Moore's 3-run homer gave Miami a 3-1 lead. 1-1 and a spin. Yelich back at second. Of course, one of the key calls in this inning was the catcher's interference. Yelich with 2 strikes banged his bat off the mitt of Chris Iannetta.
A productive at bat from Marcell Ozuna, even early, driving the ball to right field. Giancarlo Stanton able to move up to third base. Sacrifice fly gets him in.
Shipley with a breaking ball, misses in. '25-year-old right-hander, 90 pitches in. Arizona's bullpen has been quiet.
Still quiet even through all this. Lots of offense today, lots of pitches from Shipley. We are only in the 5th inning. He's had to work hard.
That's in. More walks. And I think Shipley isn't all bothered by that. The 2 swings and 2 balls that Moore has hit against him. He'll take his chances with A.J. Ellis. Second walk for Shipley. And Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, is on his way out. Marlins at Chicago for 3, then Pittsburgh for 4. Pirates lead over the Mets is still 5-1, bottom 7. Cubs tonight take on the Cardinals. In fact, as the Marlins land in Chicago, they'll just be getting going. Cubs and Cardinals. Anthony Rizzo and the Cubs. Marlins are there tomorrow night. Craig Minervini coming with us to Chicago. It must be a big series. Jessica Blaylock in the studio with Preston Wilson.
was told that Craig likes to go to Chicago for pizza. It's a big series too. Oh.
Ellis takes fastball in. And Arizona's bullpen, though, doesn't look like anyone's throwing, but someone's getting ready to throw. The veteran right-hander, Tom Williamson. Misses. Shipley stared at it for a while. Kerwin Danley wasn't biting. And it's 2-0. Here's a look at it.
It was A.J. Ellis.
And it's down.
A.J. heating up over his last few opportunities to catch and start. Starting to get some good offensive production, some really good swings.
That catches the corner. It's 2-1.
Still a good take by A.J. Ellis right there. Pitch he's looking for. Watch this, low corner. He doesn't want that.
Yelich at second base. Tyler Moore at first. Ellis lifts a fly ball down the line. Owings over, and it's just out of reach. And the at bat still has life here for Ellis. Count 2-2. It's a play ball weekend all across baseball. The initiative to get out and play baseball, softball, even kickball. Saw a few of those games the other day. And after this ball game, kids can come out on the field and have a catch. So a lot of kids lined up to get into the ballpark, all had their gloves. A lot of games of catch going on outside the park. Ellis takes in, and the count's full now. And that means a head start for Yelich at second and Moore at first.
Pull back up the middle for A.J. Last few of his hits go up the middle.
A.J. left field. That's deep and curling foul. No Carlton Fisk routine was going to bring that back fair.
No, off the bat had a little, I want to say he hooked it, but it kind of had a little fade to it.
Three-two. He missed. Wow, Shipley thought he had the pitch. Bags are loaded. That'll bring up the left-handed bat in J.T. Riddle, and let's look at this. It's out.
Yeah, it's out. Nice take by A.J. Ellis right there. You got to make a better pitch to a starting catcher than that. He knows that strike zone inside now. So they're loaded.
2 walks. After 2 are out, Moore and now Ellis. And here's Riddle. It's 1 for 2. And a great opportunity for Miami. Pitch is out. One and 0. Ichiro is on deck. It's the pitcher spot. Riddle takes a rip at it. It's a ball and a strike. J.T. Riddle, his first taste of the big leagues, University of Kentucky. He opened 2 for 21. And his second go-round, his average above 300.
Been very good in these situations. 6th National League amongst rookies in RBIs. 13 RBIs in the month of May. Very good production from the lower part of the lineup. This will be the 31st pitch for Shipley here in the 5th.
Are you surprised he's still in?
Yes, been surprised he's still in this ball game for a while now.
1-2. Struck him out. Riddle stunned at the plate. Braden Shipley leaves the bags loaded and strikes out JT Riddle. That pitch is high.
It is.
And the Diamondbacks get a break. Riddle still stunned. 5-5 ball game. Six. Kyle Bearclaw is warming up. Watch party is coming up Wednesday. Remember, the Marlins are playing the Cubs that night. Flanagan's Seafood Bar and Grill in Pinecrest. You can watch the Marlins and the Cubs, see what tie Todd Hollandsworth is wearing. See how Craig Minervini stacks up in Chicago. At Flanagan's, though, you'll have DJ Vertigo, Billy the Marlin, win prizes, enjoy food and drink. Marlins.com/appearances. I always feel dizzy when I read that.
Why?
DJ Vertigo. Kyle Bearclaw.
Way over my head. Sorry.
It's all right.
I only tuned in halfway through, though.
It wasn't that good anyway.
I thought you meant it.
To be honest.
I heard dizzy. I was like, you all right?
Here's Bearclaw. And he throws a strike. Now, for Kyle Bearclaw, he's had some ups and he's had some downs. Bearclaw, the real struggle was on Thursday night, trying to protect a 2-1 lead. Scalzo fouls one off. And Bearclaw walked the first two men he faced in that 8th inning, and they both came around to score. And it turned a 2-1 Miami lead in the 8th to a 3-2 win for Arizona. 2 doubles for Descalso. Takes away Daniel Descalso out of Mountain View, California. Really nice 5-year run with the Cardinals. Played in a lot of big games. Had some huge postseason hits. 2011, 2012. Counts 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. This was a Vance Worley start for Miami. He would go 3 2/3 and give up all 5 runs. crowd reacting to that pitch. They felt it was in the vicinity of the Riddle strikeout.
Sure.
Strike 3 called. Descalso had tossed the bat and was starting to take the guard off. And he's on his way back to the dugout. Let's see where this one was. Well, that's right at the letters.
Pitcher's pitch, according to Fox Tracks.
Pitch to Riddle was above the line. That one was right on top of the line.
Got to draw the line somewhere.
That's good. That's a good, very nice. You're getting the hang of this. Here's Herman. Claw with a changeup there.
Yeah, you don't see that too often. Actually kind of surprised me right there.
That's a nice pitch for him, though.
Well, it is. It's certainly a little bit of an equalizer. There aren't too many hitters around baseball. They're going to say bear claw and changeup. You know, you're not even thinking about it. It's about pitch elimination. This slider is so nasty that you typically look for one or the other, and more times than not, it's the fastball. Slider right there.
He's tried twice to get that slider on the outside part of the plate. Velocity at 95 on that fastball. Herman in the 2 spot on an 0 for 3 day. Oh boy, he looks good. 96. Velocity looks like it's coming back, and with it, it's brought the accuracy.
Well, back-to-back strikeouts looking. That could be part of the day, but that, to me, that is just making pitches. Look at this right here. 96 miles an hour at the knees, low corner, left-handed hitter. Good luck. What you're going to do more times than not is even foul that pitch off.
Bearclaw is such an important piece of Miami's bullpen.
Yes.
Outstanding last year. Led all relievers in the National League in strikeouts per 9 innings. 1-1 on Goldschmidt. He was 3rd in the National League in holds. Opponents hit just 176 against him.
Well, he's one of those bullpen pieces that intimidates hitters, and that's the best way to put it. Some guys can pitch and get great results, you know, whether it's ground balls, pop-ups, whatever. Kyle Bearclaw comes into a ball game. You're worried about a slider. You're worried about being embarrassed. You're worried about getting jammed and breaking your bat. He can do that to you.
Up the middle by Bearclaw. Gordon bobbles. And he had to hurry because Goldschmidt runs well and was busting it down the line.
Let's see if Kyle got a part of this. Piece of this ball right there. Maybe a little redirect. Absolutely. You see D. Gordon reroute back towards second base right there, unable to come up with the ground ball. See what the ruling is. E4. Surprising to me.
Error on D. Gordon.
Yeah.
Jake Lamb now has doubled in 3 trips. Battle of the bullpens right now. Arizona's has been pretty good this year. And Miami's, although it's had some bumps in the road lately, has been very good. Ball and a strike and a couple outs. The day after Edinson Volquez's masterpiece. His no-hitter last night, facing the minimum, striking out 10. Walked a couple, and they were both erased on double plays. Diamondbacks got a hit at first at bat of the ball game. Daniel Descalso doubled.
There's been a lot of looking back to Kerwin today. And some questions about that strike zone. I get it. Diamondbacks hitters 8 strikeouts today, 6 looking.
Runner goes, ball in the dirt. Ellis's throw is in time. He's out. Wow, A.J. Ellis.
How about it?
With a pick and the throw, Bearclaw and everybody else waiting. The Diamondbacks are looking. Here's Riddle's catch tag. Looks like he's out.
Indeed.
Plain as rain, of which there's a lot here in Miami today on this wet, muggy day. 5-5 game. T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball Break. Of course, last night we missed it. 7 grand slams. One of those was Albert Pujols' 600th home run. Kyle Schwarber, a slam. Chris Taylor, a slam. We could be here all night if we went through the other list of grand slams. Braden Shipley came out, and now the Diamondbacks are going to make a change. They were waiting for Ichiro to be announced, and Jorge De La Rosa is coming out of the pen. in. He was announced as a pinch hitter to start the inning. Braden Shipley, the right-hander, was warming up on the mound, went through his entire warm-up routine. And then as Ichiro came to the plate, then Torey Lovullo came out to the mound to bring in Jorge De La Rosa. That's perfectly legal and certainly prudent for Lovullo to wait to see who's coming in as a pinch hitter before bringing in his lefty. If it was JT Realmuto, he probably might have left Shipley in. But here's an idea. Rather than waste 2.5, 3 minutes on this, why not force a manager to announce, all right, Ichiro's going to hit for me right away, right when the inning ends. Ichiro, a roller out towards second. And then turn to the opposing manager and say, hey, Ichiro's hitting. You going to make a change or not? Instead of coming out, warming up, spending an extra 2.5, 3 minutes on that exercise.
I'd gladly be your campaign manager.
All right, thank you.
You got it.
And I'm not blaming anybody because
not at all.
Both managers are doing the prudent thing, what they should do.
Right.
But I think that's an easy fix.
I completely agree.
All right,
especially with the commissioner. The commissioner says the same thing. Well, one thing the commissioner complains about the most is the bullpen. I mean, really, when you listen to him and you know all the things that he talks about, speeding up the game and keeping this game fresh for the next generation, most of what he gets at is how bullpens operate today, how to fix that.
D. Gordon now. De La Rosa has found a spot in Arizona's bullpen. Of course, a longtime starter in Colorado.
Most importantly, gets lefties out. 2 for 23 lefties are against De La Rosa this season.
Gordon, a chopper out towards Descalso, who gets the out at first. And Jorge De La Rosa's got 2 ground balls to second. And now Stanton comes up against the lefty. Giancarlo a double in 3 trips. Pitches in. Shipley ended up going 5 innings. 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. He threw 102 pitches. That's a foul ball. Came in, hit the bat. Nick Wickren, Harlan Garcia in Miami's pen. 5-5 game, bottom 6.
Giancarlo Stanton, outstanding numbers against lefties this year. 6 homers, 16 RBIs, and only 36 at-bats. Wow, 389. There you go.
Two and two.
There's that split change from De La Rosa.
Of course, De La Rosa being a starting pitcher for most of his career. Stanton has seen him some. Fastball in.
This appears to be a pretty nice progression for De La Rosa. Home down in the Diamondbacks bullpen is really, he's been a starter his entire life and he's really acclimated to the bullpen.
I think the nice thing for Torey Lovullo here with De La Rosa is, since he's been a starter and a good one in his career, he's used to getting right-handed hitters out. He's not one of those relievers that has come up through the minor leagues as a specialist, a lefty specialist.
Yep.
He knows how to pitch. He's trying to do that to Stanton here with a count 3-2.
Well, he's also picked up a few ticks on the fastball as well.
That was close. Stanton on his way to first. So a 2-out walk. That was in. Ball. Erwin Danley stuck the call. And here now is Yelich.
I don't think I paid as close attention to Fox tracks as I have in this ball game all season.
Well, that's the thing about the technology. It's the same technology that umpires are graded on after each game. And both teams have the technology in their video room, so if, with the contentious at-bats that have happened here, both a pitcher or a hitter can go in and find out if it missed or if it was in. Yelich off of De La Rosa's glove, and the flip is in time to get Stanton. 6 innings and a 5-5 game.
We've had some good trips to Miami.
Hotel's awesome.
Find a boat and just go out.
That's always nice.
It's my scene as far as relaxation, but a lot of culture.
I like the vibe and the culture there.
You know, it's a fun place to play.
Great time there.
You can get me out of the room there, especially if I bring a fishing pole.
You know, everybody loves Miami.
No, I don't like Miami.
Fernando.
Maybe it had to do.
I get it.
Maybe it had to do with the second half of last year.
Probably right. I think I didn't see who was right behind. Said, "Oh yeah, definitely get out of my room." There, I kept thinking Fernando.
I think it was Andrew Chafin.
He's like, "No, I'm not getting out of my room in Miami."
Marlins Park, of course, the All-Star game here on July 11th. The game on Fox. Diamondbacks coming to the plate here in the 7th inning. And Harlan Garcia for Miami is out of the bullpen. He becomes the 3rd reliever. Short start by Vance Worley, 3 2/3. Worley responsible for 6 hits and all 5 runs, all earned. 3 walks. 2 of those walks scored. Jake Lamb. Ball and a strike. Some games are getting close to wrapping up. The Reds are mounting a charge at the Braves. It was a runaway game. It's now 11-8 Atlanta in Cincinnati. You want to guess how many homers? I haven't looked at the box score yet.
5.
5?
Yes.
All right, I'll put an appetizer on the plane on the line here, and I'll take the over. I'll go 6. . I got 3 on 1. Cozart. Oh, 5.
Yeah, you asked. I gave the answer. Believe it.
No, wait a minute. Cozart's hit 2. That's 6.
Darn it.
I'm in.
Son of a gun.
So 6 homers in that ballgame.
All right. I'll hang your jacket and get you an appetizer.
Remember, kids.
It's not like I don't do that anyway.
Gambling for appetizers is not. Just don't do it, kids. Jake Lamb strikes out. Ah, the Fish family.
That guy's in the Fish family for
He
sure.
is in the Fish family. You can experience exclusive member benefits. Marlins.com/Fish family. Bucket list stuff. And you can hear Todd Hollandsworth speak, which you did today, right?
It's true, yes. I was hanging out with the Fish family this morning, early this morning. A lot of great stuff. Great conversation about youth baseball and on all the Fish family stuff. A lot of extended conversations. Had a good time.
What was the best question you got? Well, we'll wait for the break. Harlan Garcia is headed to the dugout. Miami's headed to the bullpen. 5-5 here.
Sunday afternoon, the Diamondbacks and the Marlins wrapping up the series. And if you want to get suited up for the All-Star game, the place to go is the Marlins main team store on the West Plaza. Suit up for the game with a frame maybe for your ticket or one of the big events, or the variety of different shirts from long sleeves to All-Star game festivities, all here. Magnets. One of the big sellers, the hats. There are over 20 varieties of the hat. There's one for the ladies as well. The big seller right now, the very colorful hat, Todd Hollandsworth's personal favorite right here. They also have the team hat, which is fitted for you here with the All-Star logo. The guys will be wearing this at the All-Star game. Should be fun. Midsummer Classic coming in July.
Yeah, once in a lifetime Major League All-Star game. Thank you, Craig.
He's right about that. That hat's an attention getter.
Say hi to Robin when you're in the team store. Chris Owings to right off of Nick Whitgren. And Stanton makes the catch. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Whitgren having a fine season. ERA under 3 now. His 18th appearance. Dustin McGowan, Kyle Bearclaw, Harlan Garcia, and now Whitgren.
Very impressive start. It's been very good of late. Lots of zeros.
Pittsburgh pouring it on the Mets now, 8-1. 9th inning. The Phillies have a 1-run lead over the Giants. Phillies finally got a win yesterday. 6-5. Philadelphia over San Francisco, top 6. Tigers' Justin Verlander came out of his start. Tight right groin is the report.
Tried by Whitkin right there. Yeah.
Just off.
Right. A lot of pitches in that layer just outside today.
Bryce Harper is out of the pokey, so to speak. The suspension is over. He's going to play in that game for the Nationals in Oakland. Game starts pretty soon, about 15 minutes. Whitgren misses. Iannetta draws a walk. Here comes Nick Ahmed. Coors brings you a cold hard fact. Complete games. Ah, yes. Part of the fun of yesterday was that the Marlins' long complete game drought came to an end. A major league record 480 games. The last complete game was Henderson Alvarez. It wasn't his no-hitter. Alvarez had a complete game early in the next season. June 3rd, 2014.
It's good to get that out of the way.
It is.
That stat kept coming up a lot. First couple months of the season.
As we saw in the aftermath of the game, Volquez, who was so close to the late Yordano Ventura, young Kansas City Royal pitcher, was killed in the offseason. Had sent a shout out to him, a guy he felt like was just like a little brother to him, because it would have been Ventura's birthday yesterday. And in that fine interview by Craig at the end of the no-hitter, he talked about dedicating the day even before he threw the no-hitter to Ventura and to Jose Fernandez. There's a strike and it's 1-2. And that's one of the things that first came out with Volquez in the post-game interview.
Both incredible talents. Lives cut short way too soon.
One and two. Nick Ahmed. Bouncer out to Riddle. Little flip to Gordon. Nice bullpen for the Fish in this one. Garcia for an out. Nick Whitgren gets two. It's still 5-5. This series tomorrow night. Cubs and Marlins from Wrigley. 3 night games in Wrigley in a row. That's somewhat of a rarity. That's where the Marlins will be for 3, and then on to Pittsburgh. That's a 4-game series in Pittsburgh. Here in this one, look at this, 5-5, 8 hits for Arizona, 7 for Miami. Both teams have kicked it around a little bit. A couple errors for the Diamondbacks, 1 for Miami. Jorge De La Rosa going through his warm-up routine. As we go bottom 7, Marcell Ozuna, Derek Dietrich, Tyler Moore. In reserve, Don Mattingly has JT Realmuto on the bench. Possibly Justin Bour. We're not sure if Bour is available to pinch hit with a sore ankle. RBI Baseball 2017. Fast-paced, pick up and play. MLB action packed with all your favorite major league teams and players and ballparks and more. Get RBI Baseball today for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com.
Marcell Ozuna's had a very nice ball game, a walk, a double. Deep fly ball to right, moved up a runner. Productive afternoon, productive series as well. See that average sitting at 324.
Marcell Ozuna digs in. Has walked, has doubled, flied to right. De La Rosa trying to soak up some innings here out of the Arizona pen. He pitched a scoreless 6. Braden Shipley went 5. And Ozuna has a history. 3 homers and 11 at bats. Change up, tap back to De La Rosa. A little flip on over to Goldschmidt. And out here in the 7th.
Big out right there by De La Rosa. Some of those numbers with Ozuna.
Oftentimes when you pitch a no-hitter or do something big in baseball, the Hall of Fame calls and asks for items. Reds and Volquez, his spikes, a ball, and his cap are all going to Cooperstown. I would think too they would want the tape on his ankle that they had to put on after he turned it.
Really?
Well, I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. To me, that will be the story of that no-hitter.
Right.
Here's a guy that turned his ankle, getting the first out, limped around, thought he was actually coming out after 3 or 4 innings because of the pain, decided to stick it out. D. Gordon told JT Realmuto just right after he hurt the ankle, now he's going to go pitch a no-hitter, and he did.
Well, through the storytelling, I suppose, the display that they're going to put together for him, which will be part of the no-hitter, that would maybe be part of it, but I don't see them keeping it like the tape.
You're probably right.
That would be. Where would you store that?
Now, after the game last night,
that's cool right there.
The grounds crew came out and dug up the pitching rubber. You see how the mound is all clay, and the rubber was presented with a plaque on it to Edinson Volquez.
I think it's amazing that most people actually see that right there, how big the mound is.
Dietrich scorches one in the gap right center. Let's see if he makes a turn and goes for it. He's on his way. The throw from Fuentes, and he's in there. Dietrich has a double with 1 out here in the 7th.
Yeah, the 7th of the season. Really nice ball game today from Derek Dietrich. A couple of sacrifice flies, swing against De La Rosa. I told you those numbers. Only a couple hits against De La Rosa from the lefties this year. rocket up the middle. Good swing right there, stayed on it. Extension and hustling all the way.
Nick Ahmed kept the tag on. Dietrich had that left leg on the bag. Torey Lovullo is out, not to ask for a replay, but to make another pitching change. And probably a double switch as well. I think David Peralta is getting loose. Yes, he is. A 5-5 ball game on a Sunday in Miami. Bottom 7, and it's in Volquez. Watching this one, and of course our Toyota inside look. When two big moments share a day, Pujols hit his 600th. Volquez threw a no-hitter back in '73. Willie McCovey hit 400. And Nolan Ryan no-hit the Tigers. Nolan Ryan is the all-time leader in no-hitters with 7.
Well, here's Archie Bradley on for the 19th time this year. Big time fastball now that he's working out of that bullpen. Good curveball to go along with it. Features both predominantly.
Fires one in there to Tyler Moore at 96 miles an hour. Peralta ends up in right field. So the pitcher spot is now 5th in the Diamondbacks order. Peralta sits in the 9 spot. Quickly, it's 0-2. This is a spot where you might pinch hit Justin Bour. And as we told you, Bour, a little bit of a tender ankle. Thought Mattingly give him the day off. That's just old country hardball there at 98. Yeah, Archie Bradley can throw hard.
Yeah, he's got a nasty curveball to go along with it. Use that fastball just a little bit more, but you see it 96 to 98 miles an hour. I was just thinking back to his last appearance against the Marlins. Dominant stuff. It's clearly because he grew the beard.
Without question. In the Diamondbacks bullpen, they have 3 pitchers. Bradley, Jorge De La Rosa, Yusmeiro Petit, who have not allowed an inherited runner to score.
Yeah, it's big in what they do. I mean, you look at what the story has been for the Arizona Diamondbacks, maybe the most consistent angle, explaining their great first 2 months of the season. It's been the pitching. Pitching good at home, well on the road, and not just the starters, it's the bullpen as well. They've been very, very good. Remember, Archie Bradley was a starter for the Arizona Diamondbacks last couple of seasons. I mean, he's one of their prize top prospects a few years ago, and did a really nice job establishing himself and his role in that bullpen.
And a first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
Ellis, a little flare out to right field. Peralta charges, and it's foul. Count stays at 1-2. There's Justin Moore. So he's got a helmet in his hand. That's a good sign. For Miami, they've got the pitcher spot up 2 hitters away. You got Riddle on deck and then the pitcher spot. And it looks like Bohr has a bat and a helmet. Dietrich still at second. 1-2. Ellis gets a piece of that high fastball. Marlins 8 under, 23-31. Of course, their low point this year, 13 games under. They were 16-29 to open up this homestand.
Good job by A.J. Ellis, fighting off some elevated fastballs. 99 miles an hour. A.J. looking out there going, what in the world could you possibly be meaning about? You throw 99.
Well, Chris Iannetta might want to make sure that we're on the same page with the sequence of signs. You got a runner at second. '97 under the hands. See the range. It's been straight heat.
He's not throwing a breaking ball yet.
Another fastball, another foul ball. It's good at bat here for A.J. Ellis. The Pirates are pouring it on the Mets. It's 11-1 now. Up at Citi Field. And that game just went final. Foul tip. Andrew McCutchen, the only homer in that game. His ninth. And with the loss, the Mets now fall to 24-31, so they're 7 under. That means the Marlins can pull even with the Mets if they can win this game. A lot of work to do, though. Here's the 2-2 again. That pop-up brings Goldschmidt over, and it's 4 rows in.
Out of play. Great battle going on right now. 9 pitching back for A.J. Ellis. Richard Bradley really has not given him anything to handle.
David Phelps in Miami's bullpen. Every pitch has been a fastball here.
Yeah, but he hasn't made a mistake with that fastball. It's not like these are fastballs out over the plate. AJ's just missing them because of velocity. He's been on the corners. He's been up at times, down at times, he's been able to fight him off. For most of these have been with 2 strikes. These bats ended base hits.
Another souvenir and triple digits for Bradley. So a 10-pitch at bat here.
Wow. Only 1 pitch really middle. You see it right there, smack dab, that 5-5 box as I call it, right smack dab in the strike zone. The rest, elevated fastballs and around the strike zone.
He busted out a breaking ball.
Oh, nice job by AJ right there.
On pitch number 11.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, look at him smiling. AJ's like, you got to be kidding me. 10 straight fastballs, and this is what you got for me? Just gets a piece. Nicely done. So you want to be a big leaguer, kids. 10 straight pitches above 95 miles an hour and a breaking ball that just fell off the table.
Another fastball, another pop-up. So that's the 12th pitch. This is the 13th pitch for AJ Ramos.
Well, you know today was a giveaway. You knew that,
or
right?
excuse me, for AJ Ellis. 10 foul balls in this at-bat. 10.
Look at that velocity. My goodness. I think he let up on the 3rd pitch at 94.
This is the 13th pitch of this at bat for Ellis. And he takes the fastball up and in at 98. Well, this is really something.
Now, this is the first time AJ's really put himself in a little bit more of a, the driver's seat position. Of course, he's trying to defend 99 miles an hour. He's going to earn himself a walk, but it's not in the strike zone.
14th pitch. Ellis, a line drive, base hit left field. Dietrich will score. Epic at bat. AJ Ellis, and Miami has the lead.
How about that? I tell you, those at bats, they end up in base hits all the time. My goodness, what an at bat. By the backup catcher, AJ Ellis. 14 pitches. Battling back, and finally gets something he can handle on a 3-2 pitch. There's your inherited runners right there. That's what AJ has to say about that. Well done. What an inning.
Here's Riddle now. He takes a fastball high.
Let's not forget that Dietrich hustled into second base to get into scoring position to get this thing all fired up right here.
14 pitches, 13 fastballs, 1 knuckle curve that he fought off. Riddle fouls off 96. Well, that was something.
I won't forget that at bat for a long time. I won't forget it for AJ. Wow.
Ellis with a 2-hit game. He's 2 for 3. And Miami up 6-5. Outside corner. That's 1-2.
Base 3 times today for Ellis. Also had a walk.
Riddle in the hole at short. Dive by Ahmed. No play anywhere. Second hit for Riddle. And it's Justin Bour now who is going to get the call.
Nice pizza hit right there by JT Riddle. Back up breaking ball. That knuckle curve stayed on it. Gonna flip it over there to the left side. Had a nice little hole over there. AJ hustling all the way. Real nice day for the bottom of the order.
Derek Dietrich Couple sac flies, double. Tyler Moore, a 3-run homer. Ellis, 2 hits, that big RBI. Now Riddle's got 2 hits, and here's Bohr. This is, to me, a really interesting at-bat. It's going to be high velocity, and it's probably going to be up in the zone. So this is one of those at-bats for a guy like Bohr, who has immense power, that we've talked to Don Mattingly about. We've talked to Mike Pagliarulo, Frank Menechino, where you take your hits in this case.
Well, countless times we've watched this Marlins lineup for the last couple weeks do just that, Rich. And again, Bohr knows what he wants to do right here, probably how he's going to get attacked. Elevated fastballs. Is it something you look to pull, or is that something you look to stay through?
Fastball's out. Meanwhile, Bradley has thrown 22 pitches, and I think only 1 off-speed pitch.
Well, threw 14 to AJ, so 6 to everybody else, or what is that, 8 to everybody else.
Certainly coming out of the pen for a guy like Bradley adds a few ticks on the speedometer with the fastball. The question, I guess, is how far into an inning do you go before that starts to diminish?
Well, hasn't shown signs yet. There really is nothing going on in the Diamondbacks bullpen right now. That's one thing I've noticed about Torey Lovullo and his managerial style throughout this series, is that he does not get guys up to get guys up in that bullpen. Usually when they get up, they're coming in. It's something right away. He doesn't. You won't see guys getting up 2 and 3 times and, you know, burning out down in that bullpen.
Bohr swings and misses.
A lot of managers right now would look and say, okay, my guy's out there, he's struggling a little bit, he's at 22 pitches, let's get somebody up and start throwing right now. He hasn't shown, he hasn't done that.
Now the Diamondbacks have an extreme shift on for Bohr. But, I mean, Bradley's throwing 98, 99. That left side is wide open. Breaking ball, pulled it. Goldschmidt has it, flips it. Bradley gets to the bag. A 14-pitch epic at bat for A.J. Ellis results in an RBI single and a 1-run Miami lead. .5 Miami. David Phelps is out of the Marlins bullpen. Phelps becomes the 5th reliever to work for the Fish. Remember, this was a Vance Worley start. He went 3 2/3. And of course, Miami, the loss that they have in this series was a 1-run lead that they had into the 8th inning. That was game 1 of the series. And Phelps will try to keep melting that ERA down. He's on an outstanding roll He's going to get the 8-9-1 hitters, though in that 9 spot is David Peralta. Ray Fuentes coming to the plate. Ten foul balls in that at bat of A.J. Ellis's. 14 pitches. About an 8-minute at bat, and it got us quickly scrambling, because you and I both recognized that Alex Cora had an incredible at bat. D. Gordon had a long at bat in New York. He had a 16-pitch at bat. He fouled off 11 straight, and they got a bloop single. Cora did it. Left center field. Yelich on patrol. Ozuna takes over and makes the catch. Alex Cora, as a Dodger, had an 18-pitch at bat. Fouled off 14 straight pitches and homered. That was in I believe 1998. No, 2004 for Cora.
We all remember that one. That was at Dodger Stadium. Just kept battling and battling and battling and battling, and finally hit it out.
Were you a Doyer at the time?
No, I was a Cub at the time, actually. I just remember seeing it on TV. It was quite popular.
Good pitch by Phelps. Nice play by Gordon, and Peralta is retired. David Phelps comes in and gets 2 quick outs here in the 8th. And it brings up Daniel Descalso. "14 pitches. Archie Bradley was blowing gas. He threw 1 breaking ball, and Ellis was able to fight it off, that knuckle curve.
I mean, and I think it's a great illustration of understanding the dynamic between velocity and pitching and what hitters do all the time. He saw another fastball at 97, 97, 98, 97, right? And think about this, Rich, you know, from our perspective up here, right? So all the foul balls were over here, and it was like all of a sudden it just started getting a little bit closer and a little bit closer and a little bit closer. Then he got himself finally to that 3-2 count. Elevated 97 fastball. He had fouled that almost exact same pitch off. We showed you on pitch tracks over here. But 14th pitch of the at bat, finally able to handle it. Drives it into left center field.
Two and 1. Descalso has hurt Miami. Doubled and scored in the first, drove in 2 with a double in the 4th. He swings and misses there. Two and 2. Phelps back in a groove. .65 Fish. Miami trying to take this series. Marlins are 7-2 on this homestand. High fastball. 1-2-3. Phelps in the 8th. Man, is he in gear right now. David Phelps is back to being his bad self from last year when he did everything for the Marlins. Start, relieve, close. Right now he's just getting outs. terrific top of the 8th. Bottom 8 here. Archie Bradley's still in. It's the top of the order for Miami. 6-5. Marlins on top. D. Gordon, Giancarlo Stanton, Christian Yelich. Gordon sends one up the middle in center field. That's a base hit. Good start to the 8th. We check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Well, Rich, thank you very much. Boy, David Phelps continues to be just tremendous for the Marlins, anchoring that 8th inning. The other day they used him earlier in the game, and we're going to catch up with him on the upcoming road trip. Pittsburgh, remember last year had an excellent start. I think the year before that, his wife's family from there. They had a big crowd all rooting for David Phelps. That should be fun. Also, how about Kyle Bearclaw? Don Mattingly said he didn't want to put him in a tough spot, but sometimes the game dictates it, and he came through big too.
Giancarlo Stanton. You're right. That's always a good trip for David Phelps. Good trip for us as well. Great, 2 great ballparks. Gordon the runner at first. And you've got Stanton against the high velocity Archie Bradley here. Marlins got a couple of hits. A.J. Ellis, the epic 14 pitch RBI single. JT Riddle a hit as well. Stan, a sharp ground ball. Lamb to his left, out there. Descalso's turn, safe there. Good slide at second by D. Gordon. He got under Descalso's feet, forced him to go up and over, and carried the throw high. Stanton busted it down the line.
Nice job right there by D. Gordon. Out. Diamondbacks.
He's got a lefty in the pen, and obviously Yelich is coming up. Andrew Chafin. Chafin on his way in. 6-5 Miami. A 6-5 lead. Andrew Chafin is in for the Diamondbacks. A runner at first. Got Christian Yelich coming up. Miami trying to win this series and go 8-2 on the homestand, which will be a complete about face for this ball club.
Well, components from all parts of this Marlins team contributing throughout the homestand and contributing today. How about the bullpen so far? The offense coming back. A lot of good things going on with this Marlins team right now.
Yelich now against Chafin. And he takes in. Base hit and a run scored in the third. Remember, he reached on catcher's interference, and that was a part of the fifth inning. Miami got a run in the 5th, a run in the 7th, a run in the 7th on the A.J. Ellis at bat. A.J. Ramos in the bullpen. Marlins Live comes up after the ball game. We'll have Tom Mattingly, clubhouse reaction, live guest. There's the 2-0 and a strike. And if you thought the A.J. Ellis at bat was epic, and it was, and big, we've got one from Don Mattingly's first year in which D. Gordon went 16 pitches, and his hit was a big one in that ball game as well. We'll show that to you on Marlins Live. Gordon 16 pitches. That was against the Mets. He fouled off 11 straight and ended up getting a single to left and scoring the deciding run. That's the longest at bat ever by a Marlin. 15 before that was shared by Greg Zahn and Mike Lowell. Ellis went 14 at bats, or 14 pitches in the at bat, and an RBI single. Pitch misses down low. It's believed that the modern day record for longest at bat in Major League history is a 20 pitch at bat in 1998 by Ricky Gutierrez. And our thanks to Clark Spencer, the Miami Herald, from an article April 13, 2016. It was after that D. Gordon game. A lot of good research there by Clark. Yelich, liner to left, and it's caught there. Herman had to pick it out of the lights. He does.
Nice at bat for Christian Yelich. I know he doesn't want to hear that. Well, he doesn't have to, but great at bat against a tough lefty. And Chafin, he's ready for some results. You can kind of see it in his face right there. All in all, just a great at bat, though.
Ozuna is doubled, flied out, and bounced out. So Yelich had to face the tough lefty, but Ozuna gets to face Chafin. Chafin went an inning and a third on Friday night. Ozuna did not face him. Oh, 0-1.
Giancarlo Stanton over at first. 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th.
By the way, it's 2-3-4 for the Diamondbacks, due up in the 9th.
There's A.J. Ramos. Part of the order due up for the Diamondbacks. Think back to yesterday's no-no for Edinson Volquez, how big those insurance runs the Marlins picked up at the bottom of the 8th inning for him were. Be nice today too.
Ozuna sitting on a 2-1 pitch.
Yeah.
Ozuna cranks one in the gap, left center. Stanton's going to head for third. Up with the ball is Herman. And Marcell Ozuna keeps taking those hits. 2 for 4 in this ball game.
Another laser off the bat of Marcell Ozuna. Remember the double to center field he hit earlier in this ball game that hit the bottom of the center field wall? It's about just as hard off the bat.
He's one guy that really doesn't get many blue pits.
No, he gets very few. Occasionally he'll drop one down the right field line, but when he hits it, man, oh man, it is velocity coming off that bat. Short, quick to the ball. Nice job by Stanton. Love over there to Marcell Ozuna.
Now Dietrich. So tough matchup here for Dietrich. Swings and misses at a breaking ball. Dietrich has had a day of good at bats. A couple sacrifice flies, a double that started the rally in the 7th.
couple of runs scored as well. Deet's not picking up that breaking ball right now. Chafin get it up there and bury it just past home plate. Dietrich chasing it outside the strike zone. You see the numbers very good against lefties.
And that breaking ball cuts across for strike 3. A 1-run lead to protect. It was A.J. Ellis's big hit, and now A.J. Ramos tries to close it. Sports Florida is brought to you by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jeep, get great deals on the Jeep lineup at the Jeep Spring Clearance event. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. In Miami, a long 10-game homestand coming to a close, and Miami 3 outs away from going 8-2 on this homestand. Rich Waltz along with Todd Hollingsworth. Man, if you were to say the Marlins are going to reel off 8 of 10 to start this homestand, having watched them the 3 previous weeks, there was no shot.
Yeah, I would have questioned you. They weren't playing very good baseball, and every phase of the team was kind of breaking down in its own way. The offense wasn't very connected. You watched a lot of the at-bats. You'd see hits with 2 outs, and it wouldn't turn into runs. The defense was going through a phase. The pitching was struggling. Not now. It's completely flipped. The last 10 ball games, this team has hit. They've hit with runners in scoring position. They continue to feed off each other. The pitching is playing off the offense right now. I'm absolutely convinced of that. How about Edinson Volquez? His last 2 starts, right? Let's remember, picks up his first win, then goes to no-no. Goodness.
Breaking ball, fly ball, Ozuna back, turning, track, got it. Maybe not as artful as Christian Yelich, but still just as effective.
Yeah.
He kept his path towards the fence.
That's right, effective. Watch this. Okay, so the ball changes. Listen, when the ball's up in the air, a lot of times there's spin. You've got to take that in consideration as an outfielder. Nice job going back over his other shoulder and turning back around and making a routine catch.
So Ramos has an out. He goes after Goldschmidt. 2 more hits, 2 more RBIs for Goldschmidt here today. And the breaking ball in the dirt. Numbers for Ramos, the ERA at 4.42. Those numbers have taken a beating, the ERA, in non-save situations.
That's the one thing that does stand out. AJ outstanding in save situations. It's non-save situations that have done a number on his ERA.
Last 2 appearances, saves. Phillies, Diamondbacks. Breaking ball, strike. 15 straight going back to early September last year. As you pointed out earlier in this series, the whole days of rest really works with Ramos. When he gets lots of rest, not so good. When he's working, really good. And a nice live fastball by Goldschmidt there. It's 3-2.
Well, you show how effective that is. You got to back that up. Remember 3-0, he threw him a breaking ball. This is a 93-mile-an-hour fastball out over the plate to a Goldschmidt who's been on everything today. Able to get it by him right there. That's all set up by that breaking ball on the 3-0 pitch.
3-2. Oh! Breaking ball, strike 3 called. Gorgeous.
Well, that's vintage AJ Ramos right there. Breaking ball, fastball, right back to the breaking ball. Paul Goldschmidt saying, all right, wait a minute. You just blew a fastball by me. You're not going to throw me another one? Back to the breaking ball one more time and locks him up.
You know how a hitter starts to walk when he knows he got one? Ramos did that exact same thing. As that ball was tumbling towards the strike zone, he knew it.
Well, he saw Paul Goldschmidt giving up on it. That's the first tell. When a hitter sees it a certain way and his body will almost exhale. You'll see it in his hands give up on that pitch, and you can see it with Paul Goldschmidt right there. He was looking for something else.
Now you got a dangerous left-handed bat in Jake Lamb, who's popped 14 home runs this year and 11 doubles. Ramos tries a changeup. Counts 2-0. AJ's not through with this.
Anticipate him pitching very carefully to Lamb. Owings on deck.
Oh, he fired at a breaking ball that was coming in the back door.
Well, I think he was actually looking for that. He was trying to think along with AJ Ramos right there. You don't think script with AJ. That's not the way this works. Just watch Paul Goldschmidt. This isn't traditional 2-0 fastball, 2-1, here comes a fastball. You better think a little backwards with AJ if you're hoping to do anything against him.
Fastball's up. It had fastball action and changeup velocity, and yet it hung up above the letters.
Yeah.
3-1. Changeup in a better location, and it's 3-2 now.
Much better location right there.
Full count, 2 outs, 9th inning. AJ to AJ. (3-2) to Lamb. Got him! Ball game! Ramos shuts the door, and Miami takes 3 of 4 from Arizona, who arrived in first place. And of course, the Marlins with a terrific homestand. They win 8 of 10. They got a no-hitter last night and a great bullpen effort in this one. McGowan, Barraclough, Garcia, Whitgren, Phelps, and Ramos to finish it. And how about the at-bat by A.J. Ellis? 14 pitches from Archie Bradley before knocking in the game-winning run. What a weekend here at Marlins Park. A.J. Ellis will be Craig Minervini's guest on Marlins Live, which is coming up.